What up, Buff Nation? What's going on, my BWBs? That means my bandwagon buffs. We ain't ashamed to be bandwagon buffs. We came here because of Coach Prime. We found Colorado because of Coach Prime. So we ain't ashamed to be bandwagon buffs. That's right. You can cop your bandwagon buff gear, you know what I'm saying, because you don't care on this here channel, this YouTube channel, the TLP Sports Club YouTube channel. Just be proud to be a bandwagon buff. Nobody cares that, you know what I'm saying, we've made it socially okay for you to be a bandwagon buff. And I will appreciate it if you please smash that subscribe button. All right. Thank you for helping this channel to grow. We are at 13,000 and we are moving past that. We are still growing. But guys, welcome to TLP Sports Club. You are now watching TLP Live. This is Friday, so it's free for all Friday. I had to look on the computer to make sure it was Friday. The days are getting mixed up here. It is Friday, so it's free for all Friday on TLP Live. And I'm your host, that's Harry Billion. All right, so welcome to the show. On this here show, what we're going to be doing, guys, we're still looking at Coach Prime's road to the Big 12 championship. All of the young men, they're giving interviews and they're basically saying, hey, we ain't talking about nothing more or nothing less than the Big 12 championship. That's what everybody's saying. I saw an interview on one of the Hood brothers. He's saying the same thing. I saw an interview. Every time I see an interview, all right, they're talking about the Big 12 championship. Even Joe Klatt, even though he's a Colorado alum, but he's usually kind of centrist. Even him saying there is a small little window, a small possibility that Coach Prime actually makes it to that Big 12 championship. So on this here show, in the subsequent weeks leading up to the actual game starting in August, we're going to be exploring the little windows that there is, or the little window that there is for Colorado to make it to the Big 12 championship. So what we're doing on these shows, we're going to be taking the schedule, all right? Not just the schedule, but we're going to be looking at the Big 12, the different teams that are in the Big 12. We're going to be talking about their strengths, their weaknesses, and what path there is to Colorado actually getting to that Big 12 championship. Because it is possible, all right? It's not impossible. It's going to be a hard journey, but it is possible. So on these shows, I want to show you how possible it is, all right? Colorado has a tough schedule. You remember last year's schedule. Tim, what up? Sak Passe, Stephen Charles, what's going on with you? Hopefully you're still here. But there is a possibility that Coach Prime and his Buffaloes get into that Big 12 championship. Now, I know us as fans, you know, we're looking at our Colorado team where there's other channels that's breaking down, you know, the strengths and weaknesses of all the players. And we look at it and we're like, oh, yeah, man, we're going to get there. Yeah, we right there. And we get excited. And we're like, yeah, man, we're going to, you know, some of us are saying 10-2. Some people are saying 12-0. Colorado's going all the way this year. And I'm here to caution you, to let you know that while it's possible, we have to, you know, throw caution to the wind and make sure that we understand the difficult task that there is ahead of this possibility. Okay. Now here at TLP Sports Club, I do have us at 8-4. I believe we're going to lose 4 games, and it's not because the 4 games is not because teams are just going to blow us out. It's because of the nature of college football at this level, right? The football bowl subdivision level is very hard division to play in. All right, it's like the NBA. You would think like LeBron should win it every year, right? Or if the Celtics beat everybody out this year, you would think it'll be easy to just go back and win it again, because you don't really get that many different players moving around. So why shouldn't they just win it? Well, it ain't that easy. All right, so we're gonna look at the today we're looking at, let me put the schedule up on the screen so you guys can see. DC Carson Music, what up with you, Yardman? Hey, Yardman, if you got some time, man, come on today, because I got a bone to pick with you, man. We got beef, Yardman. Yardman, you ain't been on for a minute. I got a bone to pick with you, because you got to stop that noise, homie. Let me put up the schedule. All right, so this is our schedule, but instead of us actually doing this schedule, we're taking the entire 16-team Big 12, and we're looking at them, because eventually we're going to have to face, if we go to the championship, we're going to have to face some of these schools. So we're looking at the Big 12, and I believe we're doing K-State today. We're looking at their schedule. We're talking about their strength of schedule, and then you'll kind of see, like, when we do this video, the first one we did was on Monday night. All right, I believe it was on Monday night. So we're continuing today. So if you watch these videos, just look at their schedule, their strength of schedule, and we're going to talk about who they're playing. We're going to also give you wins and losses on that team's schedule, and if they even get there with us. On Monday night, we went over Utah, because Utah is actually slated to win the Big 12. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking the predictions on who's going to win the Big 12 or the top teams in the Big 12, and I'm actually going down that list, and we're going to take each team. So today, I believe we're doing Kansas, and we're doing K-State, if it's in that order. We're going to be doing K-State today. We're going to look at their schedule, and we're going to tell you, okay, some games, their strength, the games that's going to give them a hard time, and the games that's not going to be a hard time for them, all right? Based on who they currently have on their team. Not necessarily, they used to be great. You know what I'm saying? That's what we always do. We try to take teams that used to be great. I mean, they had, like, if you go back, they had, like, Michael Vick, like, 20 years ago, and we're like, oh, my gosh, they're still going to be great, but Michael Vick is not there no more. So if you're looking at some of these teams from their legacy perspective, like Nebraska used to be really good back in the day, and we're still giving them that, but every time you beat them, then we want to have that conversation about, it's not the same Nebraska. It's like, come on, bro. That's the conversation I want to have. All right, let's evaluate these teams based on who they have today. All right, ain't no Michael Vick's left. Like, listen, Florida State ain't got no more Coach Prime. Let's be frank. So let's go, guys. On your screen, you will see at the top of your screen, you will see join TLP live at gmail.com. I already asked Yardman to come on if you got time today. Handing some business real quick. Phil So Real just gifted TLP Sports Club membership. Phil So Real, I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much for that gift. And I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Okay. So that's a little bit of business there for you. TLP membership is available. I believe to become a member, it's either on your phone. Sometimes it'll appear on the phone, but not always. I don't always see it on the phone. But if you're on the computer, you can look on your screen and it says join. You hit that join button, and there are different membership tiers. And there's a few videos in our membership, and there's a few things that we're going to be doing as members of this community. All right. So today, okay, let me finish this. On your screen, guys, it's this way right here. If you look right here on your screen, it says join TLP live at gmail.com. You call in. You email me. I send you the link to the video. I don't just put my link on the video because I want to make sure I understand who's calling and who's trying to come onto the show. There's obviously trolls out there, right? So anyways, you email me. I send you a link. You come on and we discuss the strengths and weaknesses of the Big 12. All right. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to take that off the screen. So just please just write that down somewhere, jot it down. It may not be today's show. It may be a subsequent show or shows coming down the line, especially during the season. We're going to be streaming as well. So you may want to write that email down to call in so that we can all talk smack, you know what I'm saying? Because I think during the season, it's going to get exciting. when there's actual football going on, oh, man, those shows are going to be hot. It's hot right now, but, I feel like once we got football going on, ain't no more smack talk. You can't say nothing when Colorado starts smacking your favorite teams. Now you're gonna be like, well, okay, I guess they won that. The conversation is gonna start changing. But let's go ahead and take K-State. I'm gonna put their schedule on the screen, guys. Let me make sure I don't have anybody calling in. In case we have anybody on the line right now, we can make sure we bring them on and we can all start having that conversation. Just give me 1 second, guys. All right. I want to invite my guests on, and then we can start the show the right way. Now, while I'm waiting for my guests for us to start the show, let's discuss a little bit about let's talk a little bit about this whole idea of Coach Prime telling young men that they have to go see Shador open up for Lil Wayne. The video that I did, I said Lil Boosie. Everybody's a little, so everybody's kind of little, so I'll put them all together. But it's not Lil Boosie, it's Lil Wayne for the Lil Wayne concert. I mean, the way that I looked at it, I was like, okay, like you gotta have a strong disdain for Prime and what he's trying to do for these little petty stuff. Because there ain't nobody transferring from Colorado because Coach Prime said, yo, go support your teammate at the Lil Wayne concert. All right? I mean, if last time I checked, the Lil Wayne concert tickets are pretty expensive. And if you have an opportunity to get in there for free, I don't know if it cost money or not. I think it was a free concert. Y'all let me know if it was a free concert. What up, Tennis? How you doing, brother? So if you get an opportunity to go to a Lil Wayne concert for free, I don't know what the big deal is, but again, anything here at Coach Prime is going to be scrutinized. But I found it to be weird why we are having this conversation. Like, who really feels some kind of way that Coach Prime told you to go support your teammate with the Lil Wayne concert? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And let me bring on Phil. We can talk about that a little bit, and then we'll move on because I mean, it's been talked about so many times, so we don't have to spend too much time on that. Hey, Phil, what's up, man? How you doing today? You still on vacation, brother?
No, back on the grind, man. Just did a quick little three day little trip, but hopefully we'll have another vacation sometime before the summer's over with.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the show, man. I hope you've been having a great week, man. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's good to kick back and relax. Had some nice scenery at the hotel we stayed at. My son had a good time. My wife had a good time. So, I guess I guess that's all that matters.
Okay, yeah, that is true, man. Family time is something that people take for granted, and they don't put too much stock in family time. But family time is what holds you together. All right.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this real quick, then we can get to the topic at hand, man. But like on vacations, the most peaceful I am is when me and my son either go to the pool first thing in the morning, or we at the beach at 8 o'clock, just chilling. He and I in the water, just hanging out. So like whenever I need a reset, that is always the thing that kind of brings me back to my level. So yeah, so it was good to be able to have that fun with him.
That's what's up. Now, your wife is Jamaican, so I take it she swims.
She just learned how to swim a couple of years ago, actually.
Oh, she ain't a real Jamaican then.
I mean,
She from
you
Brooklyn.
can you can say that because you ethnic. I can't say it because I'm just a regular old American. But since you
When
ethnic,
y'all
you can
when
say
y'all
that.
have your arguments, which I don't want you to air your dirty laundry, is that part of the arguments that come up like you ain't no real Jamaican because
No, but what's so funny is so
uh
I ask her questions like if she understands certain American references, and then some
uh
days she'll be like, "Duh, we had that in Jamaica. Of course I know about it." And then there'll be other times I'll assume that she knows something, and then she'll hit me with the like, "I don't even know what you're talking about." So like it's hit or miss. I never know what to expect. She's not your quote unquote stereotypical Jamaican woman, to say the
oh, okay.
least.
Okay. because no, there are a couple of Jamaican channels that I watch, and those dudes, they go into the ocean to catch a fish, and then they come out with like these big fish. It looks tiny on the screen, but then when they come out, they be like, "Yeah, man, I got a big one." I'm like, "Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. That's crazy. You can swim like that." First of all,
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, but it's one of those things, man. When you're a part of a culture that's been doing it forever,
yeah.
especially if it's in that family, then you're gonna have the right genes and DNA to be able to do stuff like that.
I know it's weird. I'm like, dang. They said black people can't swim, but those Jamaicans, these dudes are jumping in the middle of the ocean to go catch a fish. That's amazing. Anyways, let's bring on Ron Tate. Hey, brother Ron, what's up to you? What's up with you
Hey,
today? Thank you for calling in.
well, man, I appreciate it. Long time. I haven't been on employment change, but I'm really excited about joining the panel today.
Awesome. So how's it going so far? Employment change. How's it going so far?
Well, I deal with community development, and
Okay.
it's pretty rough out there in the various communities that we have to deal with, and violence is real, and so we try to assist communities in uplifting themselves by organizing and dealing with the issues. And there's no cookie cutter plan on some of the issues that we have in our communities nowadays. So each community is unique. So we try to figure out a plan and assist them in organizing and implementing the plan for the solutions in order to help, alleviate some of the issues in the community. So that's what we
Okay.
do.
Is that what you changed to, or what you were changing? Like, are you
No,
paralleling, or are you going vertical?
no, I'm retired. I went back in.
Oh, the audio's messing up. You still there, Ron?
Can you
Your
hear me?
audio went.
Yeah, I'm still
Okay,
here.
say that again. You said something about retired, and then your audio went.
Yeah, okay. I retired, and then I came back to
Oh,
the
okay.
workforce to engage in community development.
Oh, okay. That's good, man. That's good. So you're a community man. You are making sure that the next people up, they're doing well. That's good,
That's
man.
well, yeah, yep.
Yo, that's
Helping people
honorable.
help themselves.
This was up. So, what are you like? How old are you guys? You guys like retired? DC's retired at 55. You're retired, man. What y'all doing good? God is blessing y'all, ain't he?
God has been well. DC knows God has been a true blessing in my life. If I had the opportunity to tell you the story of my life, my goodness, you'd be shaking
Wow.
your head and smiling at the same time. God has been really good.
Oh, amen to
My
that.
years in law enforcement and athletics, and to be still here discussing meaningful issues in today's climate. It's truly a blessing.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you sharing that information with us, man. Thank you so much. All right, hey, Tennis Channel. What up with you? Thank you for calling in, brother. How you doing today?
All right. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, man. Yeah.
It's been a long time. But let's
A long time. A couple of
give a
shows.
shout out to all the retired people and broke, but we retired, which is good. That means we still got to work a little bit. That's okay.
That's right.
That's
That's
okay.
right.
But we work when we want to work. You get so used to working and everything till it becomes habit forming. So you got to do something. But
That's what's up.
I miss you guys, man.
Tennis ain't been here for a couple of shows. He's like, it's been a long time. That's when you know you have a good community, when people, they don't come for 2 days and they're like, man, it felt like a year.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, man.
Yo,
But
that's what's up. We
looking
about to get
forward
into
to
some
hearing you
football
guys.
though. We about to get into some football talk real soon. But let me bring on Tim Smith, then we can get the show
Hey,
going.
before you go, can I ask you a question? Can we talk a little bit in our conversation? Can we talk a little bit about development?
Oh
Because
yeah,
I want to talk. Ron said something that stirred me up a little bit too.
you talking about development for CU?
Just development, yes, sir. That
Okay.
word.
So we'll get to it. This is
Okay.
free for all Friday. So if the conversation kind of leads into it, or you'll remind us to get into the conversation of development. All right. Just bring that up. Bring that up sometime when we go through the schedule. All right. So let's bring on Tim Smith. Tim, what's up with you? How you doing today, man? Thanks for calling in.
Yo, what's up with it, Harry? To the rest of the panel, how you guys doing today?
All is
Yeah.
well, man. All right, so let me just ask you real quick. We're not going to spend too much time on this. Let me just ask you your thoughts. We're going to start with Tim. Just what is this? How do you feel about people just going petty like that? We're now in petty season. All right, some of the stuff was maybe legit, but now we're talking about Coach Prime caused people to go to concerts, so that made guys say, "I want to transfer." I mean, as ridiculous as that sound, there are so many shows. And I mean, when I say shows, I'm not talking about just YouTubers. I'm talking about shows that have like a lot of credibility and a lot of followers. They're believing this stuff. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, like I stated many shows ago, negativity moves the needle. I mean, I'm trying to make it as plain as simple as that. The negativity is what's going to get them views, and then they may come back and backdoor it. I mean, it's not who they are. You got some people that's going to stay true to themselves. I mean, they 100% not going to say anything about CU and what Coach Prime does. But I didn't even believe that when I first heard it. So, and even Ward stated it in his interview with another YouTuber. But I just think that for the most part, man, I just feel like, negativity moves the needle. And then for those that really don't like Coach Prime, that's just firepower for them to have something to really talk about.
So, tennis channel. Now, there's a show called Outkick or something like that. They're saying that this stuff is believable. This said it sounds ridiculous, but it's believable. Now, when they say it's believable, I feel like they're coming from a place where them personally are I don't know if they're Prime fans, but them personally feel some kind of way for them to say that this stuff is believable. And before I get into that question, Dre said that the concert was not free. It was structured in an NIL deal for the players. So thanks for that information, Dre. But yeah, so why do you think some people think that this is believable, Tennis Willie? That's on you, Tennis Channel, Willie. Where you at? All right, so Willie.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was muted. I muted myself.
Go ahead.
I got 2 words for you, Harry. Fake news. Let that permeate through everybody. It's fake news. Like my man Tim was saying, bad news carries. So people use a lot of stuff, and it's fake news. It's not real. What's fake news? It's not real. And if everybody keep that, when I hear stuff like that, dude, I ignore it. I mean, I'm a very smart and intelligent person. So when I hear stuff that's out of the character, that's not consistent with the character of Coach Prime, it's fake news to me. And so they're going to have a lot of proof to prove it to me that that's what it is. So that's all I want to say on it. Just fake news. That's all. Don't worry.
Right. But my question to you is the fact that, okay, there was a show called, I think, Outkick or Kick Out, whatever their name is. And it was sent to me. The show was sent to me by some of the guys. And I saw it. And apparently they got a really big following. And they said that was believable on that show. I don't want to play their show because I don't know if I'm going to get a copyright violation. But why do you think big platforms and people who have these big platforms, why do you think they can believe stuff like that?
Because they're deceived. They believe, and they believe themselves into believing a lie. So when the real truth comes, they don't really care about it. All they want, a lot of people, and there's a lot of people out there, all they want to do is hear what they want to hear. Remember, we talked about this a lot. People hear what they want to hear, okay? And that's what they don't want to hear. They're discorded. So that's all it is. It's just that people hearing what they want to hear and they're making decisions on what, oh, this sounds good. This is true. This is true. Because they believe a lie. Technically, realistically, they believe a lie.
All right, so Ron, what is your thoughts on this?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a preconceived notion, but it's a preconceived attitude or an opinion towards Coach Prime. So you have this mindset that you believe or that you want to believe about Coach Prime in Colorado. So anything that falls in line, that drips in that stream of your thoughts, that you add it, and you want to believe it. So that's why it's believable to some of them. And facts don't matter. Facts, it aligns with my thought process. It aligns with my belief. So the facts, they don't matter any longer because this is what I believe. Even after the players, there were players that said, I didn't go to the concert and I'm still at practice. So, and the other ones were saying, I didn't want to go. I mean, so the factual truth and to be able to prove or disprove that fact is extremely easy to do. But those individuals that are carrying the story, they're doing it for clicks. And those individuals that really want to believe it have a preconceived attitude already towards Coach Prime in the Colorado program.
All right, so Phil, what are your thoughts on this, and why is this such a big news in your opinion?
I don't think it's big news. I haven't seen it come across my ticker that much. I think to Willie's point when he said fake news, I think fake news is being a little bit too light. If it's the truth, it's the truth. But if it's a lie, we need to call it what it is, a lie.
Yeah.
Because news actually has some weight. So even if it's fake, you can always try to spin it like there's some realness in what was said. Um, but I look at it like this when it comes to CU fans and people who are bought into Dion, like look at your life like a bank. Why keep making deposits on something that you're not going to get a return on your investment? If this the type of energy you ain't on, then leave it be. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when we go out and we read these articles and we keep on kind of bringing it up and talking about it, we give it more legs, we give it more power than it really deserves. Is it believable? Yes, I think it's believable. Is it likely? No, I don't think Dion would have done that. I think he could have very well said, "Hey guys, this is the spring week. You know, when we're trying to drum up the spring game, we got a lot of different events. We want you guys to come out as a team and support each other and have fun with each other." Sure, could it have been phrased like that? Yeah. Did people take it and run with it? Clearly, they did. If this got out, but I don't think that Dion would have told his team to and support come out and support Shador specifically because he's rapping and he's opening it. And to my last point, I want to say Ron brought up a good point. He was talking about confirmation bias, about like if you don't care too much for Dion, when you find something that falls into that purview of something that's negative and it aligns with what you believe, you're going to believe it. But the same thing works on the opposite side. When you believe that Dion is this good person and he's not going to do certain things, when you hear that he might have done certain things, you're going to give him the benefit of the doubt over another coach that you may not believe in as much as him.
Hey, can
So,
can I say something? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Can I say something to add to that? It's just like if I say that the sky is green or the sky is blue. We actually know what color the sky is, but our eyes tells us blue. So we believe what our eyes tell us is blue, but really, actually, you look at the sun, it's a totally different color, but our eyes say so. In a sense, our eyes deceive us for whatever reason. God designed it that way. Our eyes deceive us in believing that the sky is actually blue, when realistically, it's been proven that it's not blue. So what color is the sky?
Hey Harry, let me say something real quick after Willie finished.
I'm finishing.
Go ahead.
Okay. Uh there's a certain individual that have spent pretty much his whole life lying. But now that he's on a certain stage, he further pushed the agenda. And it plays out in Congress and stuff like that. So that same narrative has spilt over, which caused division within this country. Now, with that being said, on this note, it's the same concept. And people are not going to, some people going to say, well, I don't believe it, but they're going to really believe it. They say to me, oh, I don't believe that. But then they'll go on their platform and push the narrative.
Can you clear that up a little bit? It seems kind of
Yeah,
convoluted.
who you talking about? I'll say
Yeah.
the name if you need me to, but who you talking about, Tim?
I'm talking about Trump.
Trump or his followers?
Trump and his followers.
Mm-hmm.
Trump and his followers.
What does that have to do with Coach Prime?
I think the idea is like that blind faith or giving people the benefit of the doubt. Like if Trump says 4 + 4 = 8, everybody's gonna believe it. But if those same people that love Trump hear Joe Biden say 4 + 4 = 8, they're gonna try to spin it and say it's fake news or it's a lie. I think that's the gist of what he's saying.
Thank you.
Okay. But I wanted to double back on what Phil said earlier, that he says this is believable. Why is this believable? Because I feel like, okay, let's put it this way. Obviously, something was said, right? And let's just say somebody took it out of context. What do you think was said that was taken out of context, or what could have been said? Because obviously, Coach Prime is a jovial person. He jokes around all the time. We've heard him, say certain similar things or whatever. Like, y'all, like, okay, let me not put it on Coach Prime. Let's put it on black people, right? Black people have this way of talking where we say, y'all better go see my son play, or all of y'all fired. Right? Kind of like in that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like in that vein, right? Not necessarily like saying, oh, if you don't go, then your scholarship is, I want your scholarship or whatever.
Hey, Harry, I'm sorry, real quick. You just triggered me with that because I had an old boss that was like that, tried to hide behind the whole "you're fired" joke type stuff, and it rubbed me the wrong way. I ain't care too much for her, so you just triggered me by saying that. So I'm gonna heal and deal with it as I need to.
But okay, but I just feel like for this to be this big of a news, right? This is not like, oh, one of those things where something was said in the body, like on Twitter, and we left it alone. This is like, it's been widely covered by several big platforms. So I'm like, if this is believable, then why is it believable? Why is it so believable to so many people? Like Coach Prime would make a mandate to say, oh, if you don't go, then you're no longer on the team. Like it wasn't taken in a joking manner. It was like, you're not on the team if you don't go. Like it was like they're making it seem like it was that serious. So since Phil is, are you okay to talk now, Phil?
Yeah. I'm good. So I'll just say it like this. For me, I deal with possibility and probability. Is it possible that he said this? Yes. The probability of it, I don't think is very high. Again, to Ron Tate's point,
that's what I want to deal with. Why do you think it's why is that probable? Why do you think that's probable that Coach Prime would make such a statement that if you don't support Shador, then you're off the team? Why do you think that's probable?
But remember, I said highly unlikely that he said it. So the
But
probability
you're
that he
saying
said
it's
it, I think
probable,
is
but
low.
why?
Yeah, you
No,
Why
did.
is
I
that
said it's
probable? Is what I
possible.
want to deal with.
I said possible, but I don't think it's very probable that he did do it.
I want to
I could
explore
see a
why you think
world
it's possible.
because anything is possible. Like literally anything is
With
possible.
Coach Prime, though, with Coach Prime, for it to be possible with Coach Prime, there has to be a certain level of shallowness, right? There has to be a certain level of decorum that's lost on this guy. There has to be something that kind of like that would trigger you to think like, okay, this is in his wheelhouse. He's done this before. For you to say this is probable. So if I'm not talking about anything is possible, right? Because
So simply put,
are you
to simply answer
can
your
I say
question,
that Phil's a killer? Anything is possible.
literally, yeah. But if you said that, that would be a true statement, though. You don't know if I killed somebody. You don't know. I haven't, not
But
to
is
my
that what we're talking
knowledge.
about?
But, yeah.
I mean, you're asking about possibility and probability. Yes, anything is possible. Now, specifically me for Dion, I don't know him well enough personally to give him the benefit of the doubt when there's something positive or negative. But based off of what I've seen from him, I don't think that he is going to go out and make his team do that for his son, right? But I'm not above, but I'm not, I don't want to say naive enough, but I'm not knowledgeable enough on his personality to say that he wouldn't do it.
But
But
at the
again,
same,
but this is also why I don't care too much to talk about stuff that has to do with off the field because it really doesn't matter. And then
Okay.
this is when you get into the opinions and he said, she said type of stuff. We really don't know unless somebody recorded him telling the team, y'all got to come and support Shador be a rapper. That's the only way we really gonna find out.
Phil, you bring up, man, a really really good point there, and it causes us to like, even if somebody was then maybe they may say, well, maybe he did say it. It's the possibility that he might say it. But then if once you get to understand Prime and know him, it's just like you've been with your wife a long time. You pretty much almost know. Now she can surprise you sometimes, but you can almost bet 100% of what she's going to say is true. The minute you begin to doubt that, and I'm not saying you do, I'm not saying anybody else does, the minute you begin to doubt that, now you're not sure of what you really have. And the minute people start doubting stuff, all you got to do is listen to what he says. And it's got to be consistent. It's got to be consistent. His life and words have to match. Other than that, he's hypocritical.
Well,
That's what I was thinking.
I like to make a comment on that.
Before you go, that's kind of like where I'm getting at. It's like we almost like we don't know how to even approach Coach Prime's character anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because if anything is possible, then it's like, then who the heck are we even dealing with, right? Like, because the media gets real messy. So I don't want to spend like a whole bunch of time, on this, because this is not the topic for the day. But I just feel like, once you start saying, well, anything is possible for him to say those type of things, and then people coming out to say he didn't say it, it's like, who are we even dealing with? Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I wanted to make a point then when you want to evaluate your thoughts based on probabilities and possibilities, then the only thing you can go by are the factual information that you have before you come up with a theory or with a fact. Mm-hmm. Well, the information that we have on social media, which is where we got this rumor from, is that his son Shador and Bucky both said that it was the spur of the moment thing, that they did not know. No one knew they were going to perform. They were just there backstage and were presented with this opportunity. So that's part of the factual information that I want to base my thoughts on and my conclusion on. And with the other players that are saying that they didn't want to go, they didn't go, and they're still on the team. So, so we can say today that there's a possibility and a probability. Then you're not looking at all the facts. You're basing it on your personal feelings and how you feel about Coach Prime ignoring the facts of the situation.
the fact of the matter is they said what they said, but we do not know. We don't know that to be true, and I think that's a fair statement to make.
Well,
Personally, I
you're
don't.
believing
Personally, I don't.
you're
Go ahead.
believing the rumor to be true. In order to
I'm
come to
not.
that conclusion, then the rumor has to be true. But you're
I'm not
saying
believing
when the players
either
are
to be
saying what
true.
they're saying, then you're saying that, oh, we don't know that to be true. But you want to
I,
believe the rumor.
I want to be very clear. I'm not believing either to be true.
Mhm.
I'm saying I don't know, but I'm telling you how I feel about it. Personally, I don't really care too much about this. I don't think it's that big of a story. I'm
It's
pretty
not.
sure that other
Yeah, it's
coaches
not.
have made certain mandates for their kids to be a part of certain things that they probably didn't want to be a part of that didn't get as much traction because it's not Dion. And like I said at the beginning of my opening statement about this, we have to be careful with where we put our deposits with our time and energy. And I think sometimes when we hear stories about CU in our pursuit to defend CU or just to have the open conversation, we give things more legs than it needs to. And I don't think this is a story that has any real validity that needs to be discussed any further. So I will refrain from speaking
Well, I will
about it.
push back on that.
No,
I'm going to
you're
push back
good.
on. I'm going to push back on that, and this is the reason why I want to push back on that, because I feel like whenever it comes to Coach Prom's character, we can use that same argument, right? Because when we talk about Coach Prom's character and the facts or the things that they rebuttal on, and they say, no, that's not what we said, that's not what happened, then we can say that, well, I don't believe it, but it doesn't matter because I find it, I don't care about those type of stories. I want to talk about what's on the field. So it's just a matter of, hey, do we really how at what esteem do we hold Coach Prime? When do we hold him up? When do we let him down? When do we, you know what I'm saying? When do we say, or do we care enough about him to say, nah, man, I don't really, there's no way I believe that. And then when they come out and say, and when they're supporting information to say, yeah, I feel like I believe the students. If the students say, unless they were paid off to say, hey, say this, if the students say no, it wasn't said, and there's coaches that have said no, it wasn't said, then I would have to lean on the information that's being said by the people who are involved, right? Even though we don't know the truth, even though we don't know for a fact, because we have to get the person that said it, we got to set everybody down. But I don't know that that's how you deal with social issues, right? I don't know that that's how you deal with issues that come up in society, to just say, well, it is possible that it can happen, but then we know the person's character and they've already come out and other people have come out to support it, because anybody can spread a lie. So if anybody spread a lie about me out there, right? Another channel was to spread a lie about me, and you spend some time with me, I would hope, okay? I will only hope that somebody would say, nah, that's not the Harry I know, and I know for sure that's not Harry. As
But
opposed to
Harry,
saying, well, anything is possible, and it
we've
could be
spent
that
more
he.
time.
Mhm.
We've spent way more time with you than any of us have spent with Dion.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to make the argument. But my question would be then, if that's the case, what if every time somebody comes at Dion or comes at CU as a program,
Yeah.
we feel like we have to respond and stand up for them. Like at a certain point, it's like, why are we giving everything so much energy? Like, how do you determine which allegation or which
That's a
I
story
agree.
social.
or
That's the
which
whole
pitch
point.
blake
I
It's
is
agree.
social.
is is worthy of the conversation? But okay, so why do you say it's a social topic then?
It's a
What is your
social
definition
topic
of?
because somebody's
Okay,
character is being questioned. It's a social topic that you gotta look at. Okay, you
so
know how
anything
people
that's said about him would be a social topic then.
not
If
anything,
if
but
that's
hold on. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you why it's important. The reason why it's important is because you have pundits, right? You have people on one side saying a lot of stuff, right? And then it's just like the whole racial conversation where when it comes up, people say, well, if you're talking about it, you're actually you're a proponent of it. So don't talk about it and it should go away. But then we learn that it doesn't ever go away. It continues to happen. So when do we judge talking about it, and when do we not talk about it? Because whether I talk about it or not, somebody will talk about it. So this whole thing of, oh, don't say anything and it'll go away, that doesn't work, right? Because it doesn't go away, because it kind of continues, it grows legs and it continues to go. So nobody ever stops talking about it. And it just means like, okay, are you going to have social? Are you going to have people who can probably give it some type of voice and give it, at least treat it the way that it's supposed to be treated, and not let the other people have it? So it's like that. That's how I look at certain things. I can't subscribe to the, hey, don't talk about it and it'll go away, because it never does.
And to agree with you, Harry, I think it's good, and you bring up a good point there, man. I think we look at Coach Prime from our perspective. Others look at it from their perspective. So this whole thing is about your perspective of Coach Prime. Do you suspect him? I mean, do you see him saying that? So a lot of people in their minds really, really believe that. They made up their mind, like Ron was saying, their mindset is they really believe that. So we come with our perspective. No. This is what we see. This is what we
and Willie, let me not cut you off, but let me say this before. Let me cut you off on purpose. I know I hate when people say that. Let me not cut you off. Okay. Let me cut you off on purpose and add to what you're saying. Do you know why, like, channels like Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, do you know why they always bring on somebody who's either an expert or somebody from a culture? Like, if we're dealing with hip hop, they'll bring on Cameron. You know why they do that, right? Mm-hmm. It's because everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. And if you let one group constantly dominate the conversation, then that group seems to be the ones that's heard, and their lie is going to continue to live out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why you have pundits from other side, where from other channels, they'll come on and they'll say, well, hold up. This person is saying this over there on CNN or Fox News. Let me bring on somebody who may have more of a, understanding of that culture, so they can give us what they think of that. So that's why I say I understand and I respect what you're saying. Like, some people don't care about this stuff and they never want to discuss it. But it's important that channels like TLP is out there to provide the group a rebuttal, to provide some type of other voice to say, well, let's think about it this way. That's why it's very important that you have support from different communities, because if nobody's supporting you, whenever something happens, we always say, well, who's going to support the person? The situation that came out with P. Diddy, weren't people crying out and saying, well, who's supporting P. Diddy? Whenever something happens out in the media, we always cry out to say, well, who's going to support this person, or who's going to support them? Nobody's going to come out to support this person. That's how I look at it. You need support out there. It is very important that you have support, that somebody's out there that can provide another perspective for you, especially when it has to do with the media. That's why,
Harry, and I want to bring it. I want to bring it all back to football. I want to bring it back to football. Now, if I'm a parent or a guardian or an athlete, and I'm thinking about in a year or 2 years or the next year, I'm thinking about what school I would like to have an opportunity to play at, I'm going to take all those things into consideration, especially if I'm a very good talent. So these kinds of rumors aren't out of the between the school and the so-called.
Yo, Ron, your audio's messing up.
Hey, Harry.
Can I ask Ron a question? Hey, I know he's breaking up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say I agree with you 100%, because, I mean, if we don't, all of us, everybody on this panel, want to see Coach Prime succeed. And you use the term, you said big platforms, big channels.
Yeah.
They're trying to assassinate Coach Prime character.
Exactly.
I mean, they are trying to assassinate his character, man. And they're going to draw up all types of things to float out there and see what sticks. But and they doing it like what Ron was saying, to bring it back to football. They're doing it because they don't want to see him come 2025. He getting another number one prospect in
Probably number one recruit.
Number one recruit again. They're sick of seeing this. I'm gonna tell you, man, and I hate to sound like this because I'm not racist by any means, but they do not want to see a black man do this on this stage.
Tim, I'm gonna change that statement. They don't want to see this type of black man win on this stage, because there are a lot of other black coaches that the popular media are all in on. Sharon Moore, Marcus Freeman are one of them. What do they have a stark difference with Dion about? They're not as quote unquote braggadocious. They're not as quote unquote flashy. So I don't think it's necessarily a black coach they have the issue with. I think
agree with that.
the type.
I
disagree. I disagree.
But then to add to
I
it,
disagree with that, and I'll tell you why I disagree. I disagree because it's not because he's braggadocious and flashy. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with his charisma and his draw, the numbers that he moves in the media, the numbers he moves in the media, and the effect that what he says and what he does, how it ripples across the nation. It's not his personal character. Because there are coaches out there that's not as braggadocious. I mean that's a shadow attack against Coach Prime. But when you want to look at it realistically and factually, it's about media numbers.
So then you agree with Phil, not disagree. You're agreeing, not disagree.
Yeah.
No,
because he's saying it's not about the black thing; it's about
the
this
points
coach.
that were used of being braggadocious and flashy. I think
Ron,
it's more than that.
That's
the money.
Real quick,
that's part about it being this coach.
Well, listen.
Forgive me for hold on, Titus. I'm sorry, real quick. So forgive me for the adjectives that I use, because I'm not trying to sneak this Prime and then like that. Like that's not what I'm trying to do in this conversation. So insert whatever adjectives you want to use to describe Dion. He is not the norm. So a black coach that is not the norm, that is not gonna fall in line and more than likely have a white wife with mixed race kids that they can put on a Christmas card. Those are the black coaches they want to see succeed. They're okay with them. But a coach like Dion is somebody, he's not somebody that can be controlled easily. Exactly. He does wear jewelry. He is a very confident man, and he's going to tell you when he's done well. He's also going to call the team out when they do bad. But because of the personality that he has, and it is a larger than life personality, the media is not going to back him the same way to be successful. They'll back him to do good enough to get some ratings, but they're not going to put 100% behind him because of insert whatever adjective you want. Okay, so that's the point that I was trying to make, Ron. So I'm glad we can agree on something.
And there's a difference between an owner and an employee.
Say that one more time.
There's a difference between an owner and an employee.
Facts.
Prime is more of an owner. He got full control. Those other African American coaches are employees. They don't have the same control that Prime has.
True. But also with that, see, Prime goes against the grain, man. He goes against what every black coach probably wouldn't do, or every white coach definitely ain't going to do if you break it down like that. And so when he starts they question his coaching, they question everything about him, because he goes against the grain. He's not your traditional coach. Quit trying to mix him up with Saban and all those guys, because it ain't going to fit. Let him be who he is. He's productive in what he's doing. But that's the issue,
I think that's I think tennis. I think that's what it is. I think that's what Phil's trying to articulate. Like, for those reasons, they're not gonna let him, be, because if you let a guy like Prime in and you give him everything that he needs, then guess what? I mean, the implications of what they're doing, the detraction helps to hurt recruiting. Because if you let Prime live, like you're saying, then he gets all the recruits he needs, and then he dominates the sport. And there are implications for a guy like Prime dominating the sport. And I think that's where it that's the bottom line to where we're talking about. And that's why they can't let him live. But all right, so we've dealt with that. Let's go ahead and move on let's deal with Kansas State, K-State's their football schedule. Y'all ready to talk some football? We can get off the personal stuff a little bit.
Hey, let's get it. I got my windows pulled up. I'm ready to go, man. I got my information.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for helping me to navigate that little conversation there. So for those who are not familiar with what's going on, let me just bring you back to what we're doing and how we're doing it. The rankings when it comes to hold up, let me get my thoughts together. When it comes to the Big 12 preseason rankings are, you got Utah, who is slated to win it at the number 1 spot, and then Kansas and Kansas State are coming in like neck and neck to number 2, number 3 maybe. So we're looking at now Kansas State, guys, my sinuses is acting up. I have my air conditioner on because my camera is turning off. So when it gets too hot, I switched up my studio just a little bit. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's a little, I put more heat in my studio now by switching up some things, and now my camera is turning off. So I had to put my air conditioner on, and that air conditioner is affecting my sinus. So it's happening. But we're gonna get through this. The show must go on. So here we are. We got Kansas State, who will probably be in the next in line to possibly win the Big 12. We're looking at their schedule, and we're going to be talking about, hey, how strong is their schedule? If we were to meet them in the Big 12 championship, how do we do? Do we even beat them on our schedule? So let's start with that, and let's go with where their schedule. They start August the 31st is right there on your screen. For those of you who are listening on the podcast channel, YouTube podcast, we're looking at the schedule and it's on the screen. Their schedule starts off August 31st, 7 p.m. They're playing UT Martin. Who on this panel knows UT Martin can give us a little bit of being about UT Martin?
It'll be a win. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they're a group of 5 or if they're in the FCS. But this should be a win for them. This should be a game that they win handily. This is a cupcake game to start the season.
Okay.
I agree.
I want to say hi to Coach Mike Lowry. It's been a minute, Coach Lowry. You've been running away from me, but it's okay. Your Liberian brother is still here holding it down. But thank you for coming in and joining us today in the chat. I appreciate you. Hey, man, the email, you already know the email. Let me put the email up again, just in case this guy want to call in and help us out here. jointlplive@gmail.com is the new email. If you are used to the old email, don't worry about that. Right there on your screen, it says jointlplive@gmail.com. If you want to call in and help us out with this situation, this issue that we are dealing with, going through the Big 12 schedule and, trying to find a path to Coach Prime winning or even getting there. All right, so here we go. So we're saying that UT Martin is an easy win for K-State. That's correct, guys?
Right.
Yeah.
So can you guys elaborate a little bit just for people who don't really know UT Martin? Why are they an easy win?
Well, UT Martin has never been a powerhouse in football. They've never been a powerhouse there. I don't think how long their football program has been around. I don't think it's been around a long time. But when they play people like K-State or any of the upper schools, they don't survive. I mean, they can't survive. I haven't done any research on UT Martin, but just from what I've watching them play in the past and everything, I just don't see them winning that.
So basically, what you guys are saying that they're like a, are they like the NDSU type teams, or like they're like, we put this on our schedule so we can kind of get the thing started? Is that what it is?
It's like a practice game, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will say this. I think North Dakota State is better than UT Martin, but to your argument, yes, it is the same concept.
Okay, because there's people out there that don't really understand, that don't really know. So the idea is the reason why we're going through this is because strength of schedule also matters when the teams that these teams are playing, especially, let me put our schedule up there so you can see it. The teams that these other teams are playing matters in the selection overall. But this is our schedule. Where is K-State? Are they at October 12th?
October 12th.
They the sixth game of the season.
All right, this is where our at number 6 is where they say, or number 5 is actually where our schedule starts. September the 28th is where our schedule starts getting real tough. So, and then we play them October the 12th. So just think about it when we go over this. Think about the implications of who they're playing, how they do. That's going to matter in the end, and how Coach Prime gets to that place. All right.
Hey Harry, can I throw something in real quick that I haven't heard you say? Okay.
Yes.
If you go back to our schedule, right?
Okay.
The physicality of those teams, like Baylor, even though they may not be, well, they're not good at all, but the physicality that they play with, like if we could get out of that 100% healthy, then that's good moving on to the next game in Florida, UCF. But expect to get hit pretty hard. So what I'm saying is that we can escape out of there with no injuries, but you could get an injury in the first game of the season. But I do know Baylor recruits out of Texas, and they not no small fries, man.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think they'll come out 100%, but if they can come out at least 85%, 90%, I think Colorado will be okay. I don't think anybody's going to be 100% after week 1 of the season.
So hold on, but Tim, what were you likening that to? UT Martin or K-State? What were you trying to tie that in with?
Well, they say I was tying that into. You said that UCF is the game that's where we're gonna really see our first solid
challenge.
Team. Real challenge.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if we can escape out of that game 4, which I know those dudes, I know those guys from Baylor, they hit harder than the first 3 teams that we play. I'll put it to you like that.
Okay, so right, that's why I was saying, and a lot of people are saying that this is where our challenge really starts at UCF. So I'm taking notes and I'm paying attention. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm new to this, but I'm also true to this. I'm new to it and I'm true to it. So anyway, let's move to that next game. There, hold on, give me 1 second, please. Let me take this off the screen here.
Tulane, September 2nd.
Yeah.
Hey,
down in the Bayou. Okay.
Tulane is a program that's been able to recruit somewhat decent over the past 2 or 3 years. So that's not going to be a cakewalk going down into New Orleans, and depending on what time that game is played.
At 12 p.m. September the 7th.
Well, that's a good time for Kansas State, but that's not going to be a walk in the park.
I agree with that, because back in the day, I'm from New Orleans. Back in the day, Tulane used to be used to be able to just walk all over them. They were not relevant at all. I would say within the past 5 to 6 years, they've been pretty relevant in Louisiana. They're on the uprise. I think it's going to be a tough game. If they play the way that I've seen them play in the past, it's going to be a tough game for K-State. K-State may pull it out. However, Tulane, like the guy said, Tulane it's not going to be a cakewalk for them. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think
do we know K-State's quarterback?
Avery.
The freshman,
Avery.
huh? The freshman, a sophomore.
Sophomore.
True sophomore. Yeah.
And he's good.
So you say he's good. How did he do last year?
Last year he was the MVP of the Pop-Tart Bowl as a freshman.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of Pop-Tarts.
Hey, Phil, can you do me a favor? I don't know if you can remember from last show, the article that we used that had the little write-up. I don't know if you can find the link on that for me while we're talking. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, can I just make a statement real quick about Tulane? And then
yes, go ahead.
For you.
Mm-hmm.
So Tulane is a school that right now a lot of people are saying, hey, Tulane might make the playoffs this year, being that Group of 5 conference champion, like the highest ranked Group of 5 champion. If I'm not mistaken, last year they went into Oklahoma and gave them fits, and I think they went into an overtime, or it was like a last minute game. So Tulane is a school that's on the up and up. I just don't think they have. I don't think they got the dogs in the fight to really hang in there with Kansas State. I think they will make it a good game, but I think Kansas State is a lot more disciplined than your Oklahomas of the world. So while it'll be a tough matchup for Kansas State, I still think Kansas State will be good. But Tulane is definitely a team that people should be looking for, because we will more than likely hear their name be talked about at the end of the season when it comes to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I agree with that.
I agree. Yeah.
Hey guys, help spread the word by hitting that like button, guys. Please make sure to hit that like button to make sure that we get more people watching, because this is good. This is good information. The spy cam is working right now, guys. We are going to their September 13th schedule against Arizona. We kind of already know Arizona and how Arizona plays. They do have Fafita. Fafita was a freshman phenom who took over from Delora, after he got hurt last year. He was their starting quarterback. Fafita then took them to a 10-2. They were the Cinderella of last year, but now they have lost their coach, Jet Fish, to Washington. And so Fafita and his new coach are now trying to, repeat what they did last year by only losing 2 games. So how does K-State do with Arizona? So right now we got them at 2-0, right? It's a consensus that K-State is 2-0, correct?
I think they'll beat Arizona by 2 touchdowns.
But hold on, first, it's a consensus that they're 2-0, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Okay, so so Arizona, you got them losing to. You said you got them beating Arizona.
I got them beating Arizona by at least 2 touchdowns, man, because they playing in K-State.
Okay, so they're playing at 8 p.m. Does that time matter at all?
I mean, it's at home. It's
at home.
It's in Manhattan, Kansas. So I mean, anything can happen. But at the very least, it's at home, so that's good for Kansas.
And Kansas got a running game. Yeah. Like remember last year when we played them, I feel like if we would have had a ground game, I feel like we could have won.
When you said we played them, the LSU?
No, Colorado. When Colorado played them.
Colorado didn't play Kansas State.
I see what you're doing, Harry.
I know what he's doing. Hey, I'm rooting for Colorado. So I don't mind saying that.
I wasn't. I promise you. All right, this is the fact. I did not know. There was no facetiousness going on. I was just saying. Are you talking about Arizona or Kansas State? Because we didn't play Kansas State. We played Arizona.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If Colorado would have
okay.
My second team, let me put it like that. My second team, if Colorado would have ran the ball, we could have had a better chance of beating them and controlling the time of possession. But K-State is going to run the ball down their throat as well as pass it, and they're going to run it with their running back. Probably see glimpses of Dylan Edwards, and their running back, the one that I forgot his name. He ran for over 1,200 yards last season. They're gonna run that ball down their throat, man.
My dream of dreams would be that Arizona would beat K-State. And here's the reason why. That if Arizona beats K-State, that makes it look a lot better for us because we will beat Arizona. So that's going to make us look pretty good. However, K-State, we were talking earlier, K-State's very solid team. Arizona, we're gonna see, but if they can find some kind of way to pull it out against K-State, I think that's gonna fare off better in the long run for CU.
So you're dreaming, but what is reality for you? Are they losing or winning? Is K-State winning or losing?
Okay, I'll give them a win.
All right, so they're 3-0.
I'll give them a win. Yeah.
K-State is 3-0, and we are moving on. We got K-State at BYU September 21st. What is this 20? Okay, yeah, September 21st. We got K-State, and how do we have this game? I would say this is a win. We can move on.
No.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah,
I think they.
I
think they'll win. But BYU is also a very sound team, man. The way they play.
Based on what? Based on what this year? This year.
Well, yeah, this year.
Yeah, because you got to remember, Tim. You got to remember back in the day, BYU used to be a monster. They're not what they used to be.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And you know
they did go 5-7 last year. I'm not saying that means they're gonna go 4-8 this year, but they went 5-7
but
last year.
They're a sound team, man.
That's true. That's true.
They are, and also like the guy that killed us from Colorado State. Not that wide receiver, but they hit us on a trick play. Well, actually, he scored 2 touchdowns. I don't know if he's a tight end. But he came from BYU.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember the guy. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I remember watching that. Yeah. What's his name?
But they're fundamentally sound, though. I know that much.
All right, so this is the information that we were going to say earlier. So K-State is actually number 2 in the rankings here. And then then obviously next time if we get to it, we either get to Kansas or we'll have to deal with Kansas later. But right now, K-State is number 2. So let's go ahead and get this information on tape. The Wildcats narrowly trailed Utah for number 1 in the Big 12, but the 2022 conference champs will have plenty of say in the race for the crown. That's Chris Kleiman. Made a risky move by letting incumbent quarterback Will Howard walk to Ohio State, but sophomore Avery Johnson ranks amongst the most exciting prospects in program history. Johnson combines with running backs Dylan Edwards and DJ Giddens to pace the Big 12's most dynamic rushing offense. Kleiman has built a consistent winner at Kansas State, and the Wildcats would be the Big 12 conversation every year heading forward. All right, so there will be in that Big 12 conversation heading forward. So that's the information. We got Avery Johnson, we got DJ Giddens, we got Dylan Edwards. So that is enough for them to be in that conversation.
Hey, let me ask you this, Harry.
Yes, sir.
Is it fair to say that Utah, even though they got them ranked at number 1, is it fair to say that they got health issues over there, nutritionist problems? Because they always got players hurt going into the middle of the season.
Maybe they need to eat more pork. I don't
know. That's funny. Need a little more of that pig.
That's a good point that you make, though. That's a good point that you make, because I think a couple of shows back, we talked about how these schools have, their own nutritionists, and they have specific things that they deal with, because their quarterback, Cam Ward, right? He was hurt.
Yeah, for majority of the season.
Right. So that's I would say that
Cam Ward was at Washington State. Will Howard is the quarterback at Kansas State. Just want to make sure we're on the same page.
We were talking about Utah.
Well, Cam Rising, not Cam Ward.
Cam Rising.
Kim Rising. Sorry.
Cam Rising for Utah.
All right. All right. But we had them. Even though you're saying BYU is a problem, they're winning. They're beating BYU, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think BYU is going to be a problem. No.
All right. So
Personally,
BYU's not a problem.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
And the elements are their quarterback, and then their dual running backs. They're running backs. All right. So we're moving on to their next game against the Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State on September the 28th. How do we have this game?
That's
And let's
gonna be a
Let's go ahead and
toss-up.
start with Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
That's going to be a toss-up game, man. They're both well coached. The only thing about, Colorado has their top DB, Oklahoma State's top DB now. So,
Who was that? Can we put a name to that?
McKinney, is it McKinney?
DJ McKinney?
DJ McKinney.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from their 2023 campaign?
Yeah, from Oklahoma State.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Okay.
Okay.
And he was a true freshman last season.
Oh,
Was he a starter?
Yes, he played in
Okay.
all games.
Okay.
But Oklahoma State, I feel like they can. Oh man, they playing in Kansas State, so I'm sticking with toss up. I'm gonna let somebody else speak. I'm gonna say that's a toss up game.
All right. So okay. OSU. I said OSU's winning this game. Phil, what are your thoughts on this?
So I'm gonna give you just a fact or some facts about what happened last year. Oklahoma State did win 29-21. That game was at home. Will Howard only threw for 152 yards on 34 attempts. He had 3 interceptions. Okay. And then Ollie Gordon ran for 136 yards and caught 22 yards in the passing game. So it looks like Oklahoma State really kind of dominated this game because if you look at the rushing attempts, I mean, they ran the ball over 30 some odd times. They averaged roughly 5+ yards a carry. So every two carries, they got a first down. So that means a lot. So I don't know enough about Kansas State's defensive line, but clearly if you're getting 5 yards a carry against somebody, that means their offensive line isn't doing very well. So I will say I think that Kansas State will be better this year. I do think Avery Johnson will be an upgraded quarterback, but my concern is if they have to pass the ball, can he get the job done? And I don't know that yet. So in this moment, I'm gonna have to give the nod to Oklahoma State. If I was a betting man, I'd say they would probably win by 3 or more.
All right, so you're giving it to Oklahoma. Hey, Ron, do you know Oklahoma or K-State enough to chime in here? All right, so Ron is not on. All right, so Tennis, how do you have it?
Based on what Phil just said.
Well, I would like to on this game. So far, I have K-State 4-0, but Oklahoma, I think this is an upset.
So who's upsetting who? Oklahoma's beating K-State?
Yeah, I agree with that.
It would have to be an upset if Oklahoma beats K-State because K-State is ranked higher. So that's the only way it would be an upset.
So, okay, but Oklahoma is only this is preseason, but we just if we were to just say we're going on this, then it will be an upset that that Oklahoma wins beats K-State. So you have it. You have K-State beating you got Oklahoma beating K-State, Ryan. Is that right? Yeah, I agree with King P. I don't know that this is like an upset because when you got the number 2 and number 4 team kind of playing, is that really an upset?
That's
Yes.
in the
Yes.
Big 12. That'll be a Big 12 upset.
I think
Now, if you're talking about AP poll, that's going to determine where they sit at when the season is ongoing. So if
Well,
Kansas
according
State,
to statistics and the pundits, it would be, but not for me because I think Oklahoma speed can match the K-State speed.
Not, but just
I
simply
just
put,
think
if a
they're a
team is
stronger
ranked,
team. I think overall Oklahoma is a stronger team than K-State.
if a team that's ranked lower than a team that's higher than them wins, that's normally considered an upset. So just using the normal language that's used about football, that would be considered an upset. But to your point, I agree. I don't think that it is like a drastic, like, oh, it's a number one team playing against a number 58 team in the nation. I
Right.
think these two teams are very close together as far as talent, but also, with college football, you got the home team. They normally get 7 points when it comes to the spread. Kansas State is ranked higher in the preseason rankings. We'll see what they look like by that point, because that's what, the fifth or sixth week of the season. Who knows?
correct.
Kansas State might not have won any games at that point, and Oklahoma State, looks like a juggernaut. We never know until we get there.
All right. So their next game, guys. We're moving on to their next game. Hold on. Give me a second here. Okay. Now nothing wants to work. Okay. Here I go. All right. So they play us October 12th, right after Oklahoma. How do you have this game? This is Colorado. Be careful what you say around here. be careful how you speak on this one. All right. how do you have it, Ron, on this game? Colorado versus K-State. How do you have it? All right, Woody.
I have Colorado winning this game.
This game is to be determined. Time is to be determined.
Okay.
All right, so Ron has Colorado winning. Tim, how do you have it?
I think Colorado. I think, man.
Go for it, Tim. Go for it, baby.
I got him at 10-2, and
this is one of the two games they lose.
Yeah, this is one of the games that I think they'll lose at home, but it wouldn't be by. I don't think it'll be by much.
Okay, so you got them losing. You got Colorado losing this game.
Since he's afraid to speak up, Tennis Channel is going to go with Colorado. Got Colorado beating K-State.
Okay, so you got Colorado beating K-State. I have Colorado beating K-State as well, because this one is personal. Dalen Edwards is going to get smacked in his mouth. I have Colorado winning this game, and I think this is one of the games that Colorado makes a statement. All right, remember, I'm going to put this on the record. Y'all got to remember that I think Utah, K-State, Kansas, I want the best teams. One of these teams, Colorado, is going to put their foot on one of these teams, and make a statement. And I think it could be this game. It's kind of early in the season, so.
Can I chime in? I haven't given my prediction.
Yes.
And I'm gonna take the. I'm gonna say this. I don't know who I think is gonna win just yet, but I have a bold prediction for the game. I think this game is going to be a lot more high scoring than people expect. I think when people look at Kansas State, they think about low 20s type game. I can honestly see this being the game where both teams are in the mid 30s or higher. For whatever reason, it just feels like both of these offenses are going to put on a really good show. Not to say that the defenses on both teams are bad, because I think both teams' defenses are okay. But I think for whatever reason, I feel like this is going to be one of those offensive battles. For some weird reason, it just came over my spirit. I could be wrong, but in this moment, I think it'll be both teams score 35 plus in the game. I can give you that prediction right now.
So who's going to win?
Yeah, who do you got winning?
I mean, as long as you're not holding me to it.
Yeah,
right now.
What do you mean?
No, because I mean, we haven't even seen the first team offense from Colorado.
I think you're scared. I'm calling you out.
Yeah, well,
I think you're scared.
are you chicken?
No, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, man. Like, okay. So all
Is he
jokes aside,
scared?
I do stick
Yes,
by
sir.
what I said about both teams scoring 35 plus. In this moment, I will give it to Colorado. In this moment right now, I really do think Colorado, at the very least, has the wideouts to give Kansas State a lot of trouble. I still want to see what Colorado's defensive line is going to look like because everybody seems to be really high on them. But in this moment, I'll give it to Colorado. But we got to wait and see by the time we get to week 6 or 7 what's going to happen.
All right.
You know what?
Let-
I'm looking at these guys in the trenches, man. We got some dogs in those trenches. The way they're going after each other, dude. I pity the other team. If we're gonna go each other like that,
we got a
the
live
other
one.
team.
We got a live one. Hey man, hold that thought. Let's bring on Coach Mike Lowry. Coach Stretch, how you doing today? How you doing today, brother? It's been a while, but thank you and welcome back to the show, brother. Okay, he had to sign off and come back in. Okay, but yeah.
Can I make a real quick point?
Get off the well off media tennis. Let's get real. Okay, other teams got things that's going on, but we don't see them. So, but go ahead, Phil.
So listen, so I do want to say this real quick. Go back to 2000. Go back to 2001 when Georgia won a national championship, right?
Okay.
And they beat Alabama in the national championship game. Go back and look at the SEC championship game against Alabama and Georgia. Georgia had a lot of dogs on their offensive line. They had about 3 guys that got drafted in the first round off of that line. But Georgia manhandled those guys in the SEC championship game. So all I'm saying is you can be a dog, but you can go against another dog that'll whoop your butt too. So I'm not saying that that's going to happen to Colorado, but you can be very good and still get your butt whooped. And that's what happened to Georgia against Bama. So I just want to put that out.
I don't know if Phil's so real. I don't know about that.
Some pushback real quick on tennis. Like, I understand, like, we're using the term dogs and you know, we all high on this defensive line, but I feel like this game right here is going to be the test of smartness, because if you rush your edge rushers and get them pushed out wide and coming straight up the middle, that quarterback for K-State will run for over 200 yards in that game with these.
Yeah, I agree. I think this game is going to be a little bit more about playing sound football than necessarily coming out and flat out dominating somebody. I can give you that.
So when you do say sound, we got to throw caution to the wind there. Once you say sound football, we got to start saying now we got to go to the coach. All right. Are you saying that it's going to come down to the coaching?
I would say so, yeah. If it's going to be neck and neck, it has to come down to the coaching.
Okay.
Look, I don't know.
You trust Coach Brown's prowess over their coach on this one.
Word on the YouTube streets is Dion don't know X's and O's.
Yeah.
But,
listen,
that's the word on the
know.
YouTube streets. But I ain't getting into that, big dog.
I don't know what kind of game plan they're gonna have for these guys. That's not my job description. I don't know about that. However, just from watching them boys play, watching what they do, I think that they're going to give these boys a lot of headaches. Give them a lot of headaches. I don't know what the game plan is gonna be. I don't know what coach gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna call out. But whatever he call out, look out.
All right, so hold the line. Let me bring on our other guest, Coach Stretch. What's going on with you? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry about my last intro, man. You know how these phones be.
It's all good. It's all good. You're old and you're still trying to work it out.
Yeah, I'm a flip phone type of guy.
What's that meme that the lady was like, "Yo, I'm trying to get you to go to church," and then everybody pauses and say, hey, "This thing ain't working." Anyway. Yeah. Hey, Bishop, come back. I was about to click on your name, but I'm sure you'll come back. All right, so how do you have Colorado faring against Coach Stress, this is on you. How do you have them against K-State?
I see that as a rivalry game. They got like 3 or 4 games that they need to win this season. And these teams have been these institutions have been going around for 100 years. And when I was in the chat, I was telling you, when we talk about these schools and the history of these schools, and the win totals, some of these schools are ranked higher than a lot of these schools. Like Colorado is ranked 48. They have almost 700 wins, but because of the last couple, 10 years, they done dropped off a little bit. But they was one of the top programs up there. You know what I mean?
I can't wait till they get back to that place, man. I'm telling you, because now that Coach Prime is here, it seems like the analysis and the way that they treat CU is just almost like this is not a real football program. But hold that line, guys. Let me bring on Bishop. Hey, Bishop, you are a K-State aficionado. How you doing today? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you. You got to unmute if you're talking. And if you
phone was acting up funny.
Uh-oh.
It's trying to get money.
Y'all gotta pay your bill, man. You got.
No, it ain't the bill. They be hacking your phone.
The whole panel's retired. They don't know how to work.
They be hacking your phone, man. They be hacking the phone, man.
I've been trying to get them extended days,
Hey, you guys. Hey, simple fact is, understand the Big 12. A lot of their coaching staffs and their ideologies was built to try to withstand Oklahoma and Texas. Now that they're gone, it's going to be real exciting to see if what they took when we were there, are they able to go to the next level? And I think that's where CU has an ample opportunity to really replace a lot of them, but they got to do it on the field, and they got to start with the running game. So with that said, K-State is a toss-up for you guys. And I got it 28-25, K-State.
Okay, so you got K-State winning.
Hey,
all right, so Stress, did you give us your prediction? Who do you have us? How do you have it?
I'm riding with Colorado till the wheels fall off.
So you got Colorado winning, beating this game.
I want them to be successful in every game, man. I'm invested. No matter what.
But you don't have us going 12-0. Do you have us winning this game?
I got us going 12-0. Listen, I got us going 12-0. Hey, one game at a time, bro. Listen, you can win one game at a time if you a real coach and you got the players that you need to play. You know what I'm saying? As they do, they look like they got some players that's gonna play. And then last year, remember the psyche of the team went right. The psyche of this team, this man, you got people telling you, I'm coming for your job. Now ran the man off. They talking about how sorry he is, but the proof is in the pudding. We don't get to see other teams the way we get to see the documentary from Well Off and Reach the People. But we getting a lot of meat and potatoes with them videos. And I like what I'm seeing. Is the discipline gonna be better this year? I hope so. I always hope on everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Coach Prime supporter as well as a Colorado fan. I've been supporting Colorado for years because we had like 2 guys growing up from my area went to Colorado, so it don't matter if they win it or not. I always support it. People like Ray Caruth, even though he fell off, check Google Ray Caruth.
You ain't talking about dude that killed somebody in Carolina, is you?
Yeah, that's the man that killed his girlfriend, man.
Oh my Lord.
Wow, okay. Dang, I didn't know he was from down that way. Hey.
Yeah, he was one of the best. He was one of the best receivers to come out of Colorado.
I know exactly who he is, but Stretch, I'm gonna stay on your side. I'm gonna make sure I do right by you. I don't want them problems.
No, man. What I'm saying,
I'm joking, Stretch. I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
But what I'm saying is, I like the well off stuff. I like to reach the people. I had stopped watching it for a while because I had got a little bitter. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. and I don't like the way certain things played out. But we got two guys from my area up there, so Coach Prime is sticking to his word by coming down, plugging some guys out of this area, and bringing them up to the team. You know what I mean? And I just hope that, like you said earlier, no, not to cut y'all off. I hope that they can run, like Bishop just said. Coming in the Big 12, that's a physicality conference, and you got Texas and Oklahoma leaving, and who's gonna step up? That organization, they didn't never turn into the air raid like Texas Tech. They was like I put in the chat. They just had the Doak Walker award-winning running back from Oklahoma State. So you cannot count. You can't go against that guy. That guy's gonna rush for 150 yards every game, guaranteed.
And Stretch, is it fair to say that he don't need a big hole to try to run through? I know there's gonna be jokes about it, but like he can get a little bit of light of day and make you make you.
That's
pay
how
for it.
running backs work. That's how running backs work. I played running back growing up, but then they switched me to receiver. But what happens is you just want a little bit of daylight.
Exactly. So that's my point. He don't. It don't have to be a situation where the offensive line is making a hole.
But he's strong though. I'm gonna tell you something. What about a running back like Dylan Edwards got lightning quick speed, and he's as well as he's fast, but he's not strong. So if a D lineman such as Anquan Barnes get his hand on you, or block bully get his hand on you, they gonna bring you down because you light in the ass. As a running back, you want to be at least 220 pounds, 217, 18, where you get up in them holes, you got equilibrium, your balance is good. So when they putting their hand on you in that little bit of daylight, you can break them runs. And you watch these different programs that we're gonna have to go against, like the Kansases, the Kansas States, the Arizonas, who else we gonna have to play that's got a good running game? The Oklahomas, the Utah. Yeah, you see what Utah did us last year with the second string. They ran up and all down the field on our butt. They controlled the clock. You know what I mean? And they bullied us. They got the ball in the last possession of the game against Utah, and they ran the clock out on us.
All right, guys. So let's get it back online. Let's get this thing going. Hey, so I wanted to point out that Surfer Boy 3000 and Bishop. You guys know your Big 12 and you know your K-State because you said exactly the same thing. The second that I posted his comment, he says your core Big 12 squads are built to compete against Texas and OU, so physicality is at its premium or at a premium. So I want to just say salute to you guys. Thank you for giving us your knowledge and Stretch. I appreciate what you're bringing to the show, brother, man. I miss what you're bringing. So anyway, let's get into West Virginia. West Virginia is a team that we don't see in the Big 12 this year. But again, we got 16 teams in the Big 12. We played TCU last year. We don't play them again this year, but we eventually are going to play West Virginia sometime in the near future. It could be 2025 or 26. How is K-State versus West Virginia? All of y'all are quiet. Did my microphone shut off or what happened?
No, normally you was going around saying, who get to speak. So I was letting you control the show.
Okay, let me guide it. Let me guide it.
Cooking. I was just let the chef cook.
Let me guide. Hey, Bishop, let me get you on. We're gonna go backwards. So let's start with Bishop. How do you see West Virginia? Give us a little bit of tea on West Virginia, what you know about West Virginia, because people out there may not know how West Virginia gets down.
Hey, they a sleeper cell for real. They took a hit last year, but in that time span, they played a lot of their youth. So they're the unknown in the sleeper cell of the Big 12. So I would definitely bring your P's and Q's and make sure that you come ready to hit because they like to be physical.
All right, so West Virginia likes to be physical. Let's see what we got on West Virginia. Let's get this on tape. The official information, let's get it. Go ahead and get that on tape. Let's see what their highlights are. The vibes have never been better during the Neil Brown era in Morgantown after a last place preseason prediction ended with 9 wins and a Mayo Bowl victory. The three-headed backfield of quarterback Garrett Green and running backs Jaheim White and C.J. Donaldson returns for another campaign, while the improving defense got another shot of talent. The ceiling for this team likely falls on both replacing NFL lineman Zach Frazier and whether Green can be more productive as a passer. Regardless, the floor is higher than ever, and that's a good place to be. Okay, so that's the skinny on West Virginia. They are ranked number 7, preseason ranked number 7. See, Phil says CU plays West Virginia in Morgantown in 2025. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're playing them next year. I appreciate that information, Phil. Thank you very much. All right, so Ron Tate, how do you have West Virginia against K-State?
Hey, West Virginia playing K-State at home. To me, it's a toss-up. Listen, when my nephew was with Auburn, and we drove up to Morgantown, that is a crazy place. That is a crazy place to play. And those fans up there are fanatics. I think West Virginia is going to be a problem this year. Like the bishop said, West Virginia is dangerous. I have it a toss-up.
Okay, so K-State's ranked preseason. This by CBS. They are ranked number 2. West Virginia is ranked number 7, and you have it as a toss-up. Bishop says, you said they're kind of like a problem, a sleeper cell.
Yeah, they're a problem, and understand K-State doesn't like West Virginia.
Okay, are they a rivalry starting, or they're already a rivalry?
It's a newer rivalry because last time fights broke out. Fights broke out in the stands.
Oh, okay, so the fights and those type of things are good. And who do I have next? So wait, do you both? So Bishop, put one on the record. Who wins? Who wins this game?
Ooh, we.
Stand on it. Stand on
the record.
I got to stand on it. The K-State brings back 81% of their offensive defensive line. I'm always a line person, so I'll go with K-State by 3.
Okay, so K-State has this one by 3.
Yeah, 24-21.
24-21. All right, hey, Ron, did you give me a record? Who wins this game, Ron?
I have, man.
This is hard for you guys. I can see, man.
West Virginia by 3.
Okay, so you got West Virginia winning this one by 3 points. Okay, just the opposite of Bishop. All right, so we're going to Stretch. Stretch, how do you see this game? Do you have any T on West Virginia or K-State that you can see this swing in one way?
Yeah, I don't like West Virginia for the simple fact one of my homeboys went to West Virginia and they offered his son and they backed out at the last minute. I don't fuck with the Mountaineers no more.
You can't use cuss words on the show, man. Remember that.
Oh, my bad. My bad, man. My bad. But I'm going with K-State.
You're going with K-State because they offer your boy's son, and then they withdrew the offer.
Yeah, because I like West Virginia. I used to like West Virginia. I like their colors. I like their pride. I like their mascots.
But you can't give them a win based on the personal reasons.
No, I'm going with K-State.
Okay. All right. So we go to tennis, channel tennis. How do you have West Virginia versus K-State?
I'm a reframe. I have no idea. I know nothing about West Virginia.
Thanks for being honest. I appreciate that. Phil So Real, what you got on West Virginia? And no, tennis. You gotta give me a record. Just tell me based on what you hear other people say. Give me a win or loss. Come on now.
Okay, I'll go with K-State.
You go with K-State. Okay, that's cool. That's good enough for me.
Yes,
all right, sir. Phil. How do you have this one going?
Just like you feel like Colorado has about 2 wins in them, that's gonna shock the world, and it's gonna kind of set the tone for their season. I think this is a game that West Virginia is going to win to set the tone for their season. They won 9 games last year. I think they'll win 9 games this year, and this will be one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like the way you brought that out there. I like the way, because when you get a team like West Virginia that's trying to get their mojo back, they're trying to, you know what I'm saying, they're like Stella, they're trying to get their groove back, right? So I like what you did there. I like that. Okay, so you got West Virginia winning for that. Those sentimental reasons that they're going to
The
get it
warm and
back.
fuzzies, baby. The warm
The
and
warm
fuzzies.
and fuzzies got it this one. I see.
See what happens when you're not scared? See what happens when you're not scared? You go right into it, huh?
Uh-oh. Hey, tennis got beef, okay? I'm trying to tell you right now, it is lean. It's lean beef. All right, so we're moving right along, guys. We got K-State, we got State and U. I don't know how to do it in town, but now this is gonna be State against the incumbent team. So how do you have it? We're starting with Phil. We're going the other direction. Phil, how do you have K-State and K?
Going against Kansas. The only reason why I don't have as much confidence in Kansas this year is because they lost their head coach. But Kansas State did beat Kansas last year, 31-27. So that I think that means something. It's a rivalry game, so anything can happen. But I think the fact that I'm gonna go with Kansas State on this one. I'm gonna go with Kansas State.
All right, let's get this on. Let's get the T on the on tape. The Jayhawks are the league's most ascending program after winning 9 games for the first time since 2007, and more success could be on the horizon. All eyes would be on quarterback Jalen Daniels, who missed all of Big 12 play with a back injury, but was named preseason Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year before he got hurt. Lance Leipold has done an impressive job building a solid roster around him, headlined by retaining running back Devin Neal and cornerback Kobe Bryant, both of whom have gone to the NFL. All the pieces are lining up for Kansas, including a schedule that dodges both Utah and Oklahoma State. All right, so Phil's on the record. Phil's on there. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me go back to this schedule right here. All right, so we started with Phil. We're going to Tennis Channel. How do you have this? If you don't know, it's okay. Just give me a win or loss.
Oh, Kansas against Kansas State. I'm gonna go with Kansas State based on Kansas State. I think it's a much better team than Kansas. So
all right, so
I'll go with Kansas State.
So based on the prognosticators over there at CBS, those guys that really know, they got K-State at number 2 preseason ranking, and then Kansas at number 3. So, and it's a rivalry game. So this one is a toss up as well. But so far we got Kansas State winning. All right, Stretch, how you have this one?
I'm going with Kansas all day, dog.
You're going with Kansas and not Kansas State.
Correct.
Any reason? Anything you want to toss out there to help us understand your thoughts?
Well, let's get into business. How more explosive was Kansas versus Kansas State last year?
Who won that matchup last year? Anybody remember?
Kansas State won the game. I can tell you the score right now. Kansas State won that game 31-27. I can give you more on the stats in just a second.
Yeah, and it was one of those backyard fights.
Okay, so this one is going to be a slugfest.
It's at the end of the year. You gotta see how everybody beat up.
I just want to point this out. Neither quarterback threw for over 165 yards. Howard for Kansas State threw for 165, and Cole Bullard threw for 162 for Kansas State. Both quarterbacks threw an interception. The Kansas quarterback Bullard threw 2 interceptions. So it looks like it was a really sloppy game more than anything.
Look up the Russian.
Okay, I'll give you that. DJ Giddens ran for 102 yards for Kansas State, and for Kansas, Devin Neal ran for 138. He averaged 7.7 yards a carry, and 7.7 yards a carry, had 3 touchdowns. So it was a lot of running going on. It was a lot of running going on for sure.
So I want everybody to keep in mind we play these two teams. All right. So we keep hearing DJ Giddens. All right. DJ Giddens a problem. Jalen Daniels a problem. So is there something we should be concerned about when it comes to Colorado playing in these two teams?
Yeah.
Not a
Absolutely.
worry. Not a worry. Not a worry. You go
You
out
got
there.
According
You
to
go out there.
Welloff, according to Willie and Welloff, we got some dudes on that line.
All you got to do is go out there and play good defense. If you go out there and play good defense, we know that our offense is going to perform. We go out there and play good defense, we can beat anybody in our conference. But you got to play good defense.
Oh, okay. I want a little bit of pushback. Do we know for a fact that the offensive line is way better?
Wait,
The
well,
continuity.
yeah. For a
We
fact,
don't.
we know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything,
Hey,
for a
but guess
fact,
what
we
though?
know that.
Okay,
'Cause you
but
haven't.
we can
What
say
I'm
that
saying, I'm not.
we can say they're
I'm not
better, but
doubting.
where's the starting
Go ahead.
point though? Because
Right, right.
what if they
That's all
are
I'm
better
saying.
than last year, but what if the starting point is at level 2 and now they're only
Right.
at level 5? While some people may think they
Thank
start at
you.
level
That's what
5
I'm
and
saying.
now they're on level 8. I think that's the
Right.
argument.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'm really saying is going to have to be proven on the field. It's got to be proven on the field. That's why I say if we get out there, we play good defense. We know the offense going to do what they do. They can't play any worse than what they did last year. So our
Oh, they can play
defense is the
worse.
thing. Well, okay. But our
Man,
Yeah,
defense
that
is
they could
going to have to
definitely
be
play worse.
our
That's for
defense
sure.
though this year is going to have to be we've got to be in the putting in that defense. You know,
So
that's
hey
what I'm
y'all,
looking
I
for.
threw y'all a softball. Y'all was supposed to hit that out the park.
No, not, no, that was a sucker. That was a
hey,
sucker ball, man.
hey,
You know
listen,
what? That curve.
I know that, I know we got the offense. You know what I'm saying? So I do kind of agree with I don't like the way that Willie kind of, be framing things. It seems too warm and fuzzy. Like when I have my warm and fuzzies, Willie just takes it and then he takes it to the sky. Okay. I can't subscribe to the Willie's form of warm and fuzzies, but I do see where if our defense does well, I don't see where our offense is gonna digress. I don't know that our offense digress. Now, if they digress, then maybe, but I don't see it. All right, I don't see us digressing.
But Harry, you haven't seen me on game day. I let them fly, baby. You haven't seen me on game day.
I hear you, Willie. Okay, guys, so we're moving right along. We're almost done with the schedule. We're moving right along to Kansas State versus Houston. Oh, this is a gimme. Houston is not that. It's not about this life. I can tell you that right now. Houston is probably at the bottom of this ranking here. Let's go to, Houston is ranked number 15. Let's get this on tape, and then I already know what this is. This is a win. All right, former Cougars coach, that's Donna Holgerson, had a massive contract, but leaders at the school were so disturbed by his recruiting failures, including 0 top 50 classes despite selling the Big 12, that they decided to make a change. So now they got Willie Fritz. All right. Willie, you know about this name, right? Willie Fritz is a miracle worker and shall eventually win games at Houston, but the roster is nowhere near ready. A 4-8 initial campaign when he arrived at Tulane could be instructive as Fritz installs a new approach. Okay, so who's big on Willie Fritz? Phil, are you big on Willie Fritz? Do you know anything about Willie Fritz or Stretch?
His
So
players,
I can
his players fly around. That's all I know. When I watched Tulane for the last, like I put in the chat, I was recruited by Tulane, and I chose to go to Iowa. I went to Iowa State when I first left off.
You
So do
pass
you
up that gumbo, man.
pass up
You
the
Yeah,
gumbo?
pass
man, I
up the
played with that
gumbo.
gumbo. I played with the gumbo because I already knew.
All right.
Hey, all right, Phil, what you got? What you got? Anything on Willie Fritz? What do you like Willie Fritz? Do you think
hey,
he
I
can do
mean
it?
he did a heck of a job with Tulane. He took them from 4-8 his first season to 11-2 his last season with them over the course of about 8 years. So that means a lot. He also was a coach at Georgia Southern. That is a a group of five school here in the state of Georgia. One of my best friends went to school there. Used to hang out there in the summer times. It's a wild party school, but they used to win the Division II championships all the time back in the late '90s, early 2000s before North Dakota State took it over. So I think he's a good coach. I just don't think that in this moment, this year is his year, but I think in the future that could be a team to look out for. So I'm gonna have to give it to Kansas State by double digits.
Kansas to the double digits. So Yard Man said that Willie Fritz is a better coach than Coach Prime for sure.
I don't have any issues with that statement.
We could just slap y'all.
So everybody's saying Coach Fritz is a winner, but nobody thinks that Coach Prime can win with. Come on, y'all gonna make me go back into my bag. Y'all better stop playing with me. All right. Wild Dog said Fritz still needs time. All right, so how do we have? Okay, so is it a consensus that this is an easy win for them?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it was kind of strategic to put them like late in the season like this, right? With Houston. All right, so yeah. So it's looking like this is very strategic. So it looks like they went top heavy, and then kind of like. They wanted to take a break at the end of the season because we're going from Houston to Arizona State. That's a win.
Yeah.
Then we go to Cincinnati. That's a win. And then we play Iowa State. That's a win. I mean, I don't even need your legacy guys. We already talked about these guys. So these are like the bottom of their season is all wins. Is that how we looking at it, guys?
Hey, wait a minute.
Iowa State.
Yeah, hey, don't sleep on the Cyclones, man. They are good for an upset every year. And this might not even be an upset by the time we get to that point of the season. So just be on the lookout for them. That's all.
So y'all think that Iowa State can hold their own when it comes to Kansas State? Based on everything we've said previous, Iowa State can hold their own.
Yes.
Iowa State is a really good program.
Check their record last year.
Let's click on Iowa State. Let's see if it brings up anything. Iowa State's the Cyclones. How they do last year? Iowa State give Kansas State 42. Wait, hold up. This is it. Iowa State beat Kansas State by they said 42-35 last year.
I told you.
Wait a minute. I slept on them for a little bit here.
Tell you.
Yeah, Iowa. Listen, hey, Harry. I know you like Josh Pate like I do. Josh Pate loves Iowa State because he's a big Tornado fan, and their mascot is the Cyclones. But Iowa State, like I said, is always a team that can give you an upset. It's almost like they are a Power 5 North Dakota State. It's like they're that team that is good enough that everybody shouldn't take easy, but for whatever reason, it's somebody that's gonna take them lightly, and then they're gonna go out there and kick their butt. So I think Kansas State, definitely last game of the season, has to be focused on Iowa State. They can't be focused on the possible Big 12 championship they could be in based off of the record that we're giving them. They got to be focused on Iowa State because otherwise they can get their teeth punched in.
So they put Iowa State at the end of Iowa State beat them last year, but then they're going to schedule Iowa State for the end of the season, like last game of the season.
You see who Iowa playing their first game? They playing North Dakota.
Iowa State, yeah, August 31st. Wait. Oh, okay. So they play not NDSU though, but in North Dakota.
Right. They see what I'm saying? Colorado playing North Dakota State. They playing North Dakota.
Okay, so Iowa
and North Dakota ain't nowhere near as good as North Dakota State. So that's really gonna be a cakewalk for them.
But I'm saying don't sleep on Iowa State. They got a lot of returner players coming back.
All right, so let's get Iowa State on. They are Big 12, so let's get them on tape. Iowa State sits at number 6, but the Cyclones might be the most underrated team in the country. Many tune on ISU, many turn on ISU after a 1-2 start, but the Cyclones went on to go 6-3 in Big 12 play and contend for the conference crown deep into November. Now Iowa State ranks number 2 nationally in returning production and is the only program ranked to top 5 in both offensive and defensive returning production.
Woo!
Running back Abu Sema the third might be the X factor after averaging 7.3 yards per carry as a freshman. If he can develop into a complete running back, Iowa State could easily find itself in the title game. Okay, so I'm sorry for sleeping on you, Iowa State. If you are listening, any of your fan bases are listening, you did beat Kansas State last year, so that could be a slugfest at the end of the season for Kansas State. So let's go back to that game. How do we have it? How do you guys have it?
I'm going Iowa State on this one, man.
All right, so we're going Iowa State on the last game on this. So are we seeing Kansas State in that final in the title game or not? Somebody's dying over there. Who's dying? Are you okay?
Jeez.
I think Kansas
Bush?
State.
You're choking on a pretzel.
I think Kansas State definitely has a chance.
So you think Kansas State has a chance? You said?
Yeah, I think they definitely have a chance of being in that Big 12 championship game.
So Iowa State has a chance. Kansas State has a chance. They're giving it to Utah. Am I missing something? What am I missing here?
The conference is wide open.
Everybody can't win it.
The conference is wide open. That's why you're not seeing just like one or maybe two teams just be that like overwhelming favorite. I think the conference is wide open. I think Colorado specifically came at the best time because Texas and Oklahoma are no longer there. And with respect to Deion and what he's doing at Colorado, I definitely don't think he got the dogs to beat the Texas. Definitely not on the lines of scrimmage. Okay, and there's no shade to him. I'm just speaking of facts. So the fact that Texas and Oklahoma left has now allowed the Big 12 to be wide open. And I think you're seeing that when you have a lot of pundits that can't really zero in on the team they feel like could win. They can't even zero in on maybe two or three teams that they think could win.
Harry.
Yes, sir.
Can you look up the standings from last year for the Big 12 so we can get a litmus test?
Oh, look up the Big 12 standings.
I got you, Harry. I got you.
All right, so Phil's gonna send me that. We're gonna pull that up in a second.
Yeah, and if I can chime in,
yes, go ahead.
letting y'all know is that I understand when I threw you that softball, y'all got my boy Phil Lodeholt as the offensive line, so you guys are definitely going to be better. But what I'm trying to say is right now the continuity of return starters versus new people, that's is where you got to make your biggest jump this summer. Is got to get those who are new to the system on board to where it's second nature, so they're not thinking.
You're talking about CU's returning starters or returning players?
No, I'm talking about CU's. The portal and the freshmen coming in.
Yeah.
The litmus test for you guys is seeing how they can come up to speed as quick as possible during this summer, so that way when they hit the ground in the fall, you can see the continuity and be on the same level as all these other offensive and defensive lines.
Okay. So
I kind of agree with that a little bit, but then I'm looking at, and you're right in what you're saying, but I'm looking at, what the heck am I looking at? I'm looking at these guys.
I don't know what you're looking at. You're gonna have to tell us, man.
I know. I mean, I'm looking at these guys playing. And I guess because I'm a former athlete, I'm looking at these guys playing above and beyond what they're capable of.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And trust me, trust me.
I'm a former athlete, but I just know it takes a while.
But listen, trust me. That is possible. Okay, that is possible. And that's what I'm looking for. That's not a hope or a wish.
Hey, Tennis, they let me down last year. Tennis, they had me in front of the damn TV every day on Saturday. I had my heart beat like I was gonna catch a heart attack.
Oh yeah, I told you game day, man. I'm a different person. But I'm just saying, this team, and we haven't seen them play. We don't really know. We haven't seen them play. Only thing we have to go off was 4-8 last year. However, from what I've seen in practice and the whole attitude, and players stepping up, calling other players out. We didn't have that kind of stuff last year. So that's one of the differences that I've noticed. And that kind of got me fired up. Well, hell, I always wanted my players, as long as you won,
And they keeping them accountable too. That's another thing.
holding everybody accountable. That's the difference. So with that though, but I'm thinking like what my man was saying a minute ago, that coming together, that's playing, that's part of the whole thing that I hope we get into talking about later on. That's part of the whole development of players at this stage. At this stage, not talking about freshmen to sophomore. We're talking about players at this stage. Yeah, I agree.
All right, so thank you for that, Tennis. So we got the list up here. We don't have Texas and OU on there anymore, right? Is it Oklahoma or Oklahoma State that's left? It's Oklahoma, OU, right?
Oklahoma left. OU
okay.
left, yeah.
All right, so Texas and Oklahoma are gone. But you have the overall record for Texas was 12-2. Where are they as far as okay, Big 12 record. Texas was 8-1. Then we have Oklahoma State. Oklahoma 7-2. Oklahoma was 7-2. Iowa State was 6-3. Kansas State was 6-3. West Virginia was 6-3. Texas Tech was 5-4. Kansas was 5-4. UCF 3-6. TCU 3-6. Houston 2-7. BYU 2-7. Baylor 2-7. And then Cincinnati was at the bottom, like Coach Prime and his Colorado in the Pac-12, 1-8. Was there something you wanted to add, Stretch, for us to pull this up?
Hey, yeah, because I don't like that shade against Dion talking about 1-8, man. You ain't finna talk about coach like that, bro. I ain't with that.
You better stop playing devil's advocate, because I know
I'm gonna say I don't like that. I don't like that shade, man. Hey, you speaking facts, but I don't like it. So you need to be quiet.
I know what you're doing, Phil. I know exactly what you're doing.
I'm sorry. It's Friday. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the reason why I brought up, so the reason why I brought up the standings is because we can see, as we read someone else's analysis of what's going on, we can see who the top teams are in the Big 12 right now. Disregard Texas and Oklahoma, but as you look, you see who's going to be fighting week in and week out. You know what I mean? And if you click on UCF real quick.
I think the computer's thinking real quick, but this is UCF.
Look at the games that UCF lost and the score that the scores that they scored.
So the loss to Kansas State, 31-44, 35-36 with Baylor. This is important right here because Baylor was is at the bottom. So if UCF is losing to Baylor 35-36, then that's not a good sign. That's a good thing I'm glad that you say put this up. This is important.
But it's also about 1 point. We do need to look at the totality of why that 1 point loss happened, because you can't say, oh, Colorado went 4-8 last year, but they had 6 games where they lost by less than a touchdown, and use it as a good thing. We gotta also use it as a good thing for UCF if that's gonna be the argument for Colorado. So I apologize for interjecting.
That's a good point.
No, the whole thing why I'm bringing this is because the game, okay, the creed is tough, fast, discipline with character. You know what I mean? Smart, tough, fast, discipline with character. So when you playing these games and you looking at these teams that we're going into a new conference, and we just came out of the Pac-12 and they're more of a pass oriented conference. Now we're coming into a more run oriented conference. and you look at the game of possession, how much the point spread is, that's what you're looking at. UCF is coming from a G5 situation. They're growing exponentially in Florida, in the state of Florida. They're getting recruits, but they wasn't ready for the Big 12. That's what I was trying to show you. That's why I wanted to take a little deep dive on these records and these point spreads to see how these teams matched up against each other throughout the year, to let CU know what they're coming up against, because they can't.
This is good stuff. Yeah, but look, Surfer Boy just pointed out that UCF was manhandling OU in Norman and just lost barely to them. So if you look at the record, if you look at this score right here, where are they? 29-31. That's your Oklahoma that just left, right?
Right.
So what is the narrative on that? What does this say to us?
They couldn't complete the drill. You know, you got a winning program that knows how to win. Oklahoma knows how to win. So when they get guys in and their philosophy is recruiting, they recruiting winners. At UCF, we're recruiting athletes. We're recruiting individual guys. You see what I'm saying? You got different philosophies for different programs. So when you get out in the crunch time, some players don't rise up to the moment. They have missed assignments, MAs. They don't win a matchup, you know, in critical moments, 3rd and 4, and they need to get off the field. That's the kind of time when you win the football games.
So all right, so let's see here. I saw a game that was really lopsided. Oh, it was this one right here. This 22-51. Kansas gave UCF 51 to their 22. Why was this one so lopsided? And then they're playing Oklahoma and almost beat them. Like, what?
I can tell you
all over the place here.
You're going against Jalen Daniels, then you got,
yeah, because understand, Oklahoma took them lightly. Kansas is no joke. Jalen Daniels is him, and so when you have a player like that, he knew his offense. He's been a starter since a freshman, so a lot of this goes into what you're getting to see in the scores. That's why it's so important that having the experience. So they came into that game, and everybody always looked at KU as everybody's walk in the park game, but not no more. And so that's what you're seeing there.
Les Miles changed that over.
Yeah.
So was there? Wild Dog said there was injuries. Who got injured? Who was injured either from K-State or from UCF?
Oh, the quarterback.
UCF quarterback was injured.
Yeah.
No, KU.
Yeah. As well as UCF quarterback. They had went through 2 or 3 quarterbacks with UCF.
Oh yeah, and let's pull this up. This thank you, Terrence Duke for pulling that out. 45-3 from Oklahoma State. What is this narrative? What is going on here? What am I missing?
I told you. That's why you can't. Hey, Big 12 is no joke. They cannibalize and
Smash mouth.
Yeah.
Hold up. So. Wait, was Oklahoma, did they lose their quarterback? Did somebody get hurt? Did it sit? Were they playing their 3rd string, or were they playing them straight up?
All you gotta do is go to the if what's the name of send you the other link, you can go to the link on ESPN and go game by game, and we can see what happened, play by play.
But
I can tell you what happened.
Then I'll lose the money on this video. I may not make no money on this video.
No, don't do that. No,
copyright violation.
Y'all over here just throwing me in the fire. I see what y'all doing. That's all right. I'll take the heat. I'll take the heat. But no, Oklahoma, let's just be honest. The week before, they saw what was coming, and they took for granted that they were just going to walk through that game. And they came in and smashed mouth football and punched us in the mouth until we woke up.
Wait, hold up. First of all, let's slow that train down.
Go ahead.
You can take a team for granted in the second half, but in the 3rd and 4th quarter, Like, you wake up and you say, wait a minute, what was the score in the first half? What the heck? Like,
They were winning.
Hey,
They were winning.
The score was 24-0 at halftime, and they ended up
Sheesh.
winning 45-30. So they pretty much duplicated what they did the first
45 to
half and the
3, you
second
mean?
half.
45 to 3.
Right. But it was 24-0 at halftime.
So this was their Stanford game.
That's one way of looking at it.
I mean,
So
you
wait a
can say that, but at the very least, Oklahoma State did come back and beat them like Stanford did Colorado.
Well, no, I was trying to say about a half. Come on now, give me a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit.
I try my best to deal in facts, Harry. I try my best to deal in facts.
I don't need you to always like give me all the truth. Just a little bit of truth so I can like have a little bit of fun here.
Okay, I'm sorry. I keep that in mind.
But okay, no, I really want to put this in perspective because when do we play? Hold up, guys. When do we play? This is more fun than I really wanted it to be. We play UCF. This is our 5th game of the season, right?
Better bring the hard hat.
Okay, hold on, guys. Let's follow the logic here a little bit. I don't want to be afraid, but what do we doing
here? Huh?
Okay, so OSU is preseason ranked number 4. UCF, we played them game number 5. They gave OSU 40. Why? Like, am I missing something, guys?
No, it's just different stages. Sometimes when you're going through a gauntlet of physical tough battles, some days you ain't gonna want to battle no more. So they came in that game not ready to battle.
So are you saying Oklahoma State was battling that year and last year and it just got smacked in the mouth?
Yeah, they went. Then they go 10-3.
Wow.
Harry, but listen, real quick. Even if you look at the best championship teams out there, even if you look at a team that went undefeated in a national championship, there's always going to be that 1 or 2 games where they were played tough against a team nobody expected them to, have a tough game against. So it's on brand for a mid-level team, a 500 team to play bad against another team. So I'm not overly concerned at the fact that they lost that game 45-3. I don't think that tells the whole story of their season. Last point. One thing I learned from Colin Cowherd is when he's looking at a team stats, he automatically takes out their best win and their worst win. And then that kind of gives him a better idea of like the average. So when I look at a team, I take out their best win, their largest blowout, their worst loss, and then that gives me a better idea of who that team actually is. So I don't think this is all encompassing of who Oklahoma State was last year.
So UCF beat Kent. Well, that's Kent State. I thought it was Kansas State. All right, so yeah, because then they go to Houston, and it's a 27-13 win. So it's like it's all over the place. It's like I don't know what to make of this team. I'm like, who's gonna show up every week?
Hey, Harry, I just thought about something real quick. Colorado got DJ McKinney that transferred from Oklahoma State. That might be the game y'all want to look at to determine if DJ McKinney is really like that, because y'all got him from Oklahoma State. So clearly Oklahoma State got torched that game. So you may want to look at him.
That's
and
a
see
good
if
point.
DJ McKinney really that dude. I'm just respectful.
DJ was hurt. DJ was hurt that game.
Yeah, I was just gonna add that. Hey, and if I could chime in, think about it. Oklahoma State in the first part of the year, they lost to FCU, a lower team, and had to change their whole offense to where the third string running back was the name of Ollie Gordon that wasn't even playing.
Wow. Yeah, so the Big 12 is weird, yo. I'm looking at this Big 12 now that I'm taking a little deeper dive. And thank you, Stretch. I appreciate you, man. That's what you bring to the show, man. You got to come around, bro. I don't care if you're working a graveyard shift. Wake up, okay, and call it. I'm being selfish, but it's okay. But anyway, so yeah, man. Look, it's. Would you guys say that this is indicative of how wide open this Big 12 conference is? Is this?
Yes, sir. I would. Yeah, it's gonna be wide open, man.
Because you're okay. You're UCF. You go 6-7, right? Your record is 6-7, but you're beating teams that are preseason ranked and like teams that people don't even say that we're gonna even be on the field with them. Like people are just saying we're gonna beat. Like these teams are gonna whip us. But yeah, you're looking at some of the scores on a team like UCF. Which, it's a Florida team, so they got, you know what I'm saying? So they got crazy talent, but they're beating like some of these highly ranked teams, and then you're like, wait a minute. I guess either I'm missing something or I'm not missing something. It's just weird.
Competitive depth, Harry. Think about it. Competitive depth, and for so long they were chasing OU and Texas for so long that they had to constantly keep raising their level. So now, this new year,
okay,
it's anybody's race, but you got to understand the foundation is already built. That's why I keep iterating. As long as your line play can raise to that level, you can go win the Big 12. But that's what it's going to have to take.
So that's okay. So when we talked about CBS actually doing the saying that this is the reason why the Big 12 is so wide open. On any given day, like any team can beat anyone in this Big 12 conference. So that's what it's looking like. And when you guys are taking a look at the Big 12, you guys out there, whether you're watching on the live right now or you're watching after we repost this, like the Big 12 is literally wide open because this is what we're looking at now. Because we did it for Utah. We had them at 9-3 at the end of the season. I don't know if anybody tallied the wins and losses for K-State, but where do we have K-State at and what we just got to treat them the same way? Do we have them at 10-2 or is this a 9-3 as well?
I'll give them 9-3
because we got them losing for Iowa State. All right, and we got them losing at Colorado. Oklahoma was a toss-up, so
9-3.
We could give them a 9. Oh, they're also 9-3. Is this a consensus or no? Stretch, Phil, where you have them? Do you agree with the 9-3?
I think based off of what I said, I had them at 10-2.
Yeah.
I think I might have had them at 10-2 based off of what I said, but the consensus is 9-3.
The consensus is 9-3. You have them at 10-2, and you have them going to the championship game against Colorado.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Is that how you see it happen? Is that how you see it playing out at the end?
Sure. For the sake of conversation, sure.
Okay. All right. Stacey Ephraim has them at 8-4, like Colorado for me. So Stretch, are you seeing 9-3 or are you seeing 10-2?
I'm saying 8-4, like Stacey.
Oh, wait. 8-4. How did you see 8-4? You have West Virginia beating them?
No. I got Oklahoma State gonna get off on them. I got Colorado.
Okay.
I got Colorado gonna get off on them. I got Kansas gonna get off on them, and I got Iowa State gonna get off on them.
Oh, okay. All right. That's a fair, clear thing right there.
And it's a toss up with Arizona right now. They could go 7-5. So you got to think.
If they go 7-5, you're not getting. They're not in the championship game.
No, I don't see them as the top dog right now.
Okay.
If you watch their film, you got to watch all of them film. Now they did a good job in the goddamn on bowl game, but I'm really high on Arizona right now. I'm really high on Oklahoma State right now.
But do you know why Arizona? I can't be high on Arizona because they lost Jet Fish.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the players. You got to look at the players, the production of what they got coming back. Like Iowa State.
I mean, the players got to be coached.
Yeah, but the players play the game, and they got a lot of game changers coming back.
All right, I mean, I can see that.
I said the same.
They got players coming back, but I feel like they're losing too much. They don't have the key. They lost some guys to the NFL, and then they lost some guys on the defensive side of the ball that I feel like was too instrumental in their last year and what they did last year at 10-2. And then on top of that, they lost the coach. So it's like you're losing too many big key pieces for me to feel so bullish on you from what you did last year. I'm thinking if you went 10-2 last year, I could easily have you at 9-3 or 8-4. That's how I feel. And I don't see them being at the top of the food chain in the Big 12.
Yeah, but see, that's the same thing we supposed to be talking about Colorado. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about the coach done left. They was a 1-11 team, and then they turned it around and did 10-2. We still talking about 4-8. And then the coach done left. Like, it's the players.
Well, you kind of threw a wrench in there somewhere. What? Colorado went 4-8.
They still went 1-11 like Arizona did, and Arizona turned it around in a year, and Colorado didn't.
Right. So what are you saying?
You got to have the players.
Well, all right. Well, I feel like Colorado
coach is going to another place, right?
Jeff Fish is in Washington State. I mean, Washington, not Washington State. Washington.
Yeah. So he done took his whole philosophy and left. Now, who does the drills every day? The players. Who gets in between the lines? The players. Who gets the wins and losses? The coach and the player, the quarterback. Like, the players got to play, no matter if they get a coach or not. Like, look what happened to Northwestern. What happened with them when the coach in the beginning of the season, the coach was left, and what happened to their record?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that Arizona. I'm just gonna put it this way. I see Arizona as either an 8-4 team, or they're gonna. I see them regressing. I don't see them going 10-2.
No, not
Did you look up Arizona record? Did you already go there?
They were 10-2. Arizona was more of a Cinderella season. They were beating teams that were ranked left and right, and they were just doing a whole lot. And that's why I'm saying it was a Cinderella season. I don't see them as producing the same thing because they lost the key players that did that.
Well, I just watched them play against Colorado, and they took the ball and drove it 99-some yards down their throat and kicked the field goal like an NFL team do. If you watch any kind of NFL games always won on a field goal in the last second of the game. I seen Arizona drive the same quarterback, the same receiver, the same running back that's coming back, go down the field on Colorado and kick a field goal. And Colorado went down the field and missed because they talking about Mater don't miss. Mater missed that day.
So what's your point, brother? What's your point?
What I said, my point is Arizona. Arizona is one of those another team that's underlooked that has a chance because of the athletes they have. They have a chance to do great in the Big 12. That's all I'm saying.
So which one?
Colorado held his own. The way that I see it, I think Colorado has more. What you saw was that they took it was 6 minutes and like 42 seconds. It's a nightmare for me. I have to relive this all the time. Okay, it took 6 minutes and 42 seconds. It could have been a little bit more, and it just went all the way down and it scored, and that's a nightmare for me because I'm like, look, we got 6 minutes on the clock. Even if they take 2 minutes and we stop one of those runs, those 15-yard runs, we can get the ball back and Shador could do his thing and we could possibly win this game. But it didn't happen. But
That happened 4 times this last year with CU with the clock management.
exactly.
4 times. 4 times.
But Stretch, if you look at it, I believe Colorado has done enough improvement to where we're going to be able to stop that kind of stuff from happening this year. I don't see any team taking the ball and taking 7 minutes off the clock where we can't get nothing. We can't get Shador back on the field. I don't. Last year's team was just weird. It was weird to me. And this year I feel like we're going to do a lot more than
You
trying
can have
to.
that many impact players. That's what you really want to say. You want to have the impact players, the guys that change the game, that impact the game, that when on a third down and 4, Shadoze block bully gets through a double team and makes a tackle in the backfield. Now they punting. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, impact is cool, but as a team effort, just having the will to win, just having the will to just like, hey man, we're down 1 score, and like saying, hey, we're not gonna let this team take 6 minutes off the clock and then leave no time on the clock. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, impact players can be impact players, but a team has to have that will to win to not let something like that happen. And I feel
Correct.
like the will to win wasn't there last year. Some of these guys were just too individual in their thinking. But this team has to have a will to win because you're right in the game. You were in the game with a lot of teams this year, but you just didn't have the will to win, and you didn't affect the game enough to be able to change that. Because come on, bro, 6 minutes. You know how long 6 minutes is?
Hey, Stretch. I got another one for you too, brother. How about
Yes.
block bully? How about block bully goes in there and he tackles the quarterback fumbles. Block bully picks it up and take it in the end zone. CU wins.
I like that.
I like
Yeah,
it.
because a lot of guys right now they real tough on Bob Buddy because of his size. But I watched the film. That guy commands a double team every down. Like if you put one man on him, his 5'11" and 200 and however many pounds, 60 pounds he is, he gonna dominate.
I seen one man kind of handle him a little bit in practice, and that was Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown kind of handled him a little bit. Sure did.
Yeah. That's the Rock. You know, the Rock something serious, man.
So, but you know, this is what I'm saying. I like what you said about individual play because those guys, sometimes you do need those guys like the Primes and the Bo Jacksons. You do need those type of guys to be on your team because some of those guys don't like to lose already. They just hate winning and losing so much that they do kind of change the dynamic of a game. But at the end of the day, I mean, so if CU had more of those guys either last year, if they had them last year, I think maybe they would have made some changes. But I think so many guys were pocket watching last year that it was just like the disgruntledness just got too much to them at the end of the day because it was just too much going on at the end of the day. And I don't like the fact that those games, those winnable games, we just couldn't do anything. And then injuries played a part too. So, but hey man, we went down the schedule. We broke them down to a 9-3 consensus, just like Oklahoma, just like what was it? Houston. What am I talking about? Utah. I'm sorry. Utah. We did K-State this week. Monday night, we're going to be dealing with Kansas, and we're going to be talking about their schedule. We're going to take a look at their schedule and how they fare out. So we don't know. We may have Kansas State in the finals with us, but we don't know. But I see places where Colorado could be like a UCF and can put their foot on somebody like an Oklahoma State. Hey, this is what I say. This is what I want to happen, right? Before we get off of here. This is what I want to happen. Are we really okay? And do we know what the media thinks? Do we know what CBS really thinks about Ohio State, Kansas State, and Utah? Or do y'all think the goalpost is going to move and they're going to start talking about what they're really lacking? Because we really don't get the truth out of the media on what they're really lacking until Colorado beats them. So is there something that I'm missing, or do we really know what these teams are really lacking, or are we going to have to wait till Colorado beats them before we hear it?
Yeah, Harry, I think it's going to be solved on the field of battle, man. That's where the story is going to be told. That right on that field.
But
When
the
those
question
guys,
is, will we know what people really think until Colorado beats them? Because the media is really, if you have these teams, 1, Utah, 2, Kansas State, 3, Kansas, I feel like the conversation changes and we learn the real reason why they didn't win or they're not going to win once Colorado beats them. But do we
yeah,
really know what it's going to be? Do we really
well,
know? Because I
yeah,
want to know what it is right now.
yeah. Of course we do, because when we play their team, and we mollywop them, then that's going to be the proof right there. CU is the best in the land because we beat their team. And
Wait,
nothing
what?
else they can
CU's
say.
the best in the land?
Yeah, because we beat their team, and there's nothing they could say. We're the best in the land for that week. Let me put it that way, okay?
Stretch. Do you know? Do we know what the weaknesses of these teams are really, or do you think we're going to learn it after CU beats these teams?
No, every team got a weakness. Like you go to Utah, you got Cam Rising coming back off a knee injury. He hasn't played in a whole season, so he's going to be a little rusty. You know what I mean? They more run oriented, but he brought a little triple option dimension to the program. And then you got Kansas State. They number 2, which they got a brand new signal caller, which is a sophomore, which he had a good debut in the bowl game, but they don't have that much film on him, so he can really put up some wins with the type of team he got over there at K-State. Then you got Kansas coming back with a triple threat option, a running back, 2 running backs, and a quarterback that's dynamic. So, their defense been flying to the ball. And keep scrolling up.
Oh, okay.
You got Oklahoma State bringing back the Doak Doak Walker Award running back. He's proven. Yeah, he got beat up bad by Central Florida, but they're a proven 10-win season. You got Arizona, the Cinderella team. They coming in. Like you say, they lost their coach, so that's going to be a little shaky. You got number 6 Iowa State coming back with their whole production, offense and defense. You got West Virginia, a proven winner. They're ranked number 28th in the country and wins all time. You got a sleeper Cinderella G5 Group of 5 story coming up with Central Florida. You got Texas Tech, which is a proven winning program. They always won. They're not a walkover team.
Well,
Can't walk
UCF is
over.
Big 12.
Yeah, UCF big, but they coming from a Cinderella Group of 5.
Okay.
Yeah, UCF, they always been the little step cousin in the state of Florida. South Florida, Central Florida, Florida Atlantic, and Florida International, as well as FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. These all little brothers of Miami, Florida, and FSU.
So y'all Florida people that's on that side of town, like the Gators and the Seminoles, like y'all don't really see UCF as y'all don't look at UCF as a contender, at least not yet.
No, they ain't nowhere near nothing.
All right, so they don't have the brand name yet, but they're coming into their own though. It looks like.
What happens is they're getting a lot of funding, and when you get funding, you get facilities. When you get facilities, you get kids. Over the years, they've always got individual kids. They haven't got a program like an Oklahoma or a Texas or even an Oklahoma State. They're not even in the same class as Texas Tech. I'll put them in a matchup with Texas Tech with all the schools, with all the programs. And Texas Tech's going to beat them every year because Texas Tech's been in the Big 12 forever. Like when I say you got a team like UCF coming out of the Sun Belt Conference, and then going into the Conference USA Conference, and then going into whatever else conference you went in, Mid American, and then like now you in Big 12, you're gonna get smacked. Because
keep it going with Texas Tech. You were on the road. Let's go.
The Red Raiders. I wish they go back to the air raid offense. They run the ball a lot now. They run the pistol triple threat option, read option run, gives. I don't like that offense. I wish they would go back to 4 wide and spread it out because that's what I like them doing. That's what Patrick Mahomes is known for. Then you got TCU, which is coming off their Cinderella slash letdown season. Can't expect nothing from them. They're going to
But
give you
2023 was not a Cinderella. They're coming from 20. You talking about 2022?
No. I say they coming off their Cinderella letdown season.
Oh yeah, the 2023 letdown. Yeah.
Yeah, the letdown.
When CU beat them.
Yeah, so you got Colorado that need to clean it up a little bit. They have some good players on the team, which are X factors. They can be impact players and change the game. I hope Shadur buys into running the ball at least 20 to 30 times a game and passing it probably at least 30 to 25 times a game, and you can stack up some wins doing it that way because it's a proven method.
Well, you know, we got Sherman there too. Sherman's gonna see to that.
Right.
I think Sherman, because he runs the ball a lot. Sherman likes running the ball.
So you got Baylor. Baylor is in Texas. They always going to have guys that are everything's bigger in Texas, greater in Texas. So you can't never doubt them out. They're on a downhill season. A lot of controversial things that happen with the program. So that kind of really popped their bubble. But they was a good program at one point in time. They was winning. And they have been on the lower level too. They was the FCS school for a long time, and then they got up there. And then they started winning in the Big 12 a little bit, but they've been pretty good. So you got BYU. BYU gonna get down through there because they always been a winning program no matter what. But they're in a tougher conference coming out of the Mountain West, and it didn't do too well last year. Yeah, they didn't do too well last year, and but look like they got one of the best quarterbacks coming out of JUCO. So I like the way BYU runs their offense, and I like their coach. I like his antics on the sideline. He's a minority coach, so I'm supporting him all day. And you got Cincinnati that's keep dropping the ball. They was a 3-4 year ago playoff team, and now they's number 14th ranked. They coming out of Group of 5 too, and that shows you that their program wasn't what they thought it was. And but they're building over there. They always come down in Florida and snatches players out of Florida, so they kind of build a team off of Florida players, which is okay for me. Houston, you got to remember they're in Texas still, and Houston always has splash all throughout the media throughout my lifetime. I'm 40-something years of existence, so Houston always had basketball. Now they got Carl Lewis over there at track, and so I'm looking for Houston to do some things. They done some things like 5 years ago, so I'm looking for them to come up out of the ashes and rise a little bit with Houston. Arizona State, I'm rooting for my boys that came from Colorado. I really want to see McCaskill get off, see what he's capable of, and see if he can produce like he say he is. His dad say he's not no number 2 running back, so I want to see him featured. I want to see if he can rush for 1,000 and catch for 900 again. And it'd be awesome to see that guy run the ball for the Sun Devils. Sun Devils lost a lot of players to the transfer portal. One of the guys I knew from my hometown went to Arizona. He couldn't cope with it out there. He said it's too hot. So the heat, the dry desert do take effect on players. So I just want to see whether Arizona State, because I always liked Arizona State because Pat Tillman, as well as Jake the Snake.
So what do you think the narrative is going to be? Because I know we've had Otto's mom on the show before. Well, she's in the chat. She was in the chat. What do you think is what are they going to say if Otto goes out there and he lays an egg?
I don't think Otto gonna lay an egg, man. I believe that Otto is one of the best backs. He reminds me of Eric Dickerson, and I just hope that he can learn from his mistakes, learn from his setbacks, and allow his setbacks to be his greatest comebacks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hope he does well. Well, we didn't have that part of the show, but it is Free for All Friday. Thanks for running down this list and your knowledge. I appreciate it. So with that, we're going to end it right there. It was a good show. I like the fact that we are going through this schedule and we are breaking it down. So for those who are going to tune in on Monday Night Football, If you want to do your research now and learn a lot about Kansas, we're going to be going through Kansas on Monday Night Football. So Kansas is on Monday night. The Jayhawks are on Monday night. Find out everything and anything you can find out about Kansas. The TLP Spy Cam is on Kansas on Monday Night Football. We're going to leave it right there. Stretch, man, welcome back to the show. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man, I've been missing you, man. You know, I've been missing my little my time, my schedule changed, man. So I'd be normally asleep, but I had got off at 5 a.m., so I had went to sleep already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Thanks for waking up and spending some time with the show with TLP and your guy, your Liberian brother, your favorite Liberian over here. I appreciate you.
All right, brother.
We had a little bit of spamming going on with somebody spamming in the chat, but you know, Wild Dog, thank you for holding it down in the chat over there. Surfer Boy, I appreciate you. Who else is in the chat? Who's still with us? I was getting trolled myself. Kip was trolling me a little bit, but you know, I'm so used to it now. I can go without even addressing it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so used to it. Unfortunately, my guy DC hasn't learned that yet, and I have to pick on DC a little bit because every time he sees something negative in the chat, he gotta say something. But now that I'm so used to this trolling that you can say anything negative you want to say. You can say I don't know about football. You say whatever you want to say, and I will give you a hand clap. I would say bravo, thank you, I appreciate you. But who I appreciate more are the people that really know about football, which is Stretch, Willie, Phil So Real. We had Tim on the show at one point. We had Bishop on the show. Did I miss anyone? Willie, Tim, Bishop, Phil. Well, if I miss anyone, you know who.
Ron.
Oh, yeah. We have Ron Tate on the show. That's for sure. All right. So, hey, man, listen. It's Friday. It's really hot in New York. It's like 80-something degrees. My son told me this morning. You know, he always wakes up and then he would check Alexa. So he's like our meteorologist. He said, Mommy, it's going to be hot today. It's going to be like 80 degrees. So it's really hot in New York. I don't know how it is in Texas and other places, but that is really hot. But it's hot. 80 degrees is hot for New Yorkers, okay? So go out, barbecue, do something, spend some time with your family, love on each other, and we're going to leave it right there. Any final words, Mr. Stretch? What is your final thoughts?
I got one question for you. How do you think the team looks compared to last year's team? Remember, there was a duct tape team, so tell me, what is your synopsis, and I'll let you go.
Oh, you ask the question one more time.
How do you think the team looks versus last year's team?
How does this team look versus last year's team? The thing that I can say about last year's team is that we lacked cohesiveness and we lacked player leadership. I'm focused on player leadership just like Wild Dog is. And I'm starting to see Khalil Benson. I'm starting to see not Khalil Benson. Is it Khalil Benson? No, not Khalil.
Yeah, you're looking at Khalil.
I'm starting to see team leadership. So I'm starting to see leadership from the player perspective, player leadership, right? Because it was always the coaches screaming at them, trying to get them to buy into the system. But this year, what I see is I see a lot of players. You got players on the team now that have like DT2 merch, like Don't Touch 2. You got players that are taking things personal and say, hey, man, let's step up. Let's run through the lines. When you start seeing that, that means that they're starting to buy it. They're starting to buy in. And I didn't see that last year. And then a lot of them have also gone through a controversy. That's one thing you want to see. You want to see you want to see your team gather around each other when there's controversy. So, and this time we're seeing a lot of players speak up when there's controversy. So what that's telling me is that we actually have a team this year. You feel me? So it's like I see that is, there's more team this year because we've always had individual players. But
correct. Yeah,
this time it's like a team because the thing about the individual players is they're going to get theirs, right? But when the guy next to them isn't playing well, they tend to turn off. They tend to say, and I saw it as a player, as an athlete myself when I was coming up. The good guys and the guys that they know they got the talent, they're gonna get theirs because they know where they're going. Like they're going to the NFL, they know that the scouts are watching, so they're gonna get theirs, but they don't really care about the team as much.
Right.
So when they face adversities, when they know that the team is trash, they tune everybody else out and they go to try to get theirs. But I feel like this year, a lot of guys are caring about Colorado more. You feel me? So
yeah, because it's a winning program at the end of the day.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So they're putting it together now, and they're starting to realize that we need to care about Colorado, because if you don't care about Colorado, then when adversity comes, it'll just be like, what can I liken it to? The Kaylin Clark situation, where some people on your team may not have your back because they kind of feel like the other people feel. So when things are happening to you, they may kind of draw back. But then once you go through some adversities, then it brings you together and you start caring about that person more so than anything else.
Right.
That's what I see this year. I feel like they've gone through some stuff and they're gonna play for each other now.
I like it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
I want to stay optimistic about the whole thing because I have the same eye, I had last year. I'm very meticulous to detail, and like you said, the camaraderie. I brought that up on the panels last year,
Yeah.
and a lot of the different creators didn't want to touch the psyche of the team. They didn't want to touch the coaching of Coach Prime. So I was brought these things up, and as I'm watching them, I took a hiatus from watching Well Off and Reach the People because I just didn't want to. I didn't want no smoke signals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was still hurt by the players that we invest in because it's like watching a Love of Hip Hop or watching the Fred Sanford and Sons or anything that is life changing. Watching Well Off is a documentary. You grow bonds with these guys by watching them on the YouTube. You don't meet them, you don't know them, but you empathize with them. So when they leave and things don't work out, it hurts you. So I just took a hiatus. So but I said, you know what? Let me get out my way. Let me get out my feelings. Let me start checking them back out. And what I've been seeing lately, it's something that is getting better. They're getting stronger. Like you said, leaders are taking charge, being vocal. People being accountable. You see less of Coach Prime, more of the team. You know what I mean? It's a lot of different things. It's just a lot of things that we voiced our opinions over the season that, having these platforms and being an analyst, sometimes people take our words for validity. It's valid,
Right.
And
especially when we speak from a place of, purity, and we're not just trying to, put up smoke screens,
Right. And so what I've seen so far is they've addressed the front, like Coach. I'm gonna call him Bishop. Bishop say, they addressed the front seven, and they haven't put pads on. We don't know if they're gonna get hurt or not, so we got to pray for injury free summer workouts, injury free tour days, so we can get a glimpse of what the team looked like. Because you got to remember, the team started out 3-0, and they ran into Oregon, one of the top teams in the nation, one of the top winning programs in the nation, and they wasn't ready for it, and the team fell apart after that. They went on a 7-game losing streak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you got to be able to, like you said, you got to be able to handle adversity. You got to be able to have your leaders in place that know that we need to get off the field on 3rd and 5. Know that everybody got to go all out. This only for 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Don't give up on the team. Have the team mentality. And that's why I said when I was talking last year, they need to learn that fight song. It need to be mandated that they sing that song together.
Hey, but hey, push back on that, Stretch, Come on, bro. With the transfer portal and people coming in every day. Come on, fight songs are last year. Fight songs
but
are like
I know
of
it was last year,
yesteryear.
but I bet you a lie, because every time when they go win, when you look at the end of the games, those guys be right there in front of that band singing that fight song. I could
Well, I mean,
pull up.
I do agree though. Like low key, I do agree with what you're saying, but it's just like the nature of college football today. It's just weird to
Yeah, but they got to buy into the history. They
jersey
got to
don't
buy
even
in.
the
They got to buy
jersey
in.
doesn't even mean the same thing anymore. Like for a lot of
Yeah,
guys.
but I'm just saying they got to buy into the history, the historical
I agree
facts,
with that.
and what made college football so prestigious to where everybody wanted to be a part of it. Like on Saturday, it's the thing to watch college football. Like the numbers of people watching it, the different people, the different states. You don't have an NFL team. You have 131 teams, bro, compared to 32.
Right. I agree. No, I agree, because what that does is it actually helps you to understand the rivalries that are within each school. It helps you to understand why certain things are being implemented the way that's it being implemented. So no, I agree with that. But let's get up out of here. I want to say salute to Yarman. Yarman says, Harry, this is a blessed show and movement. They can't stop it, brother. We stay hot in Texas. I appreciate you. Salute to you, Stretch, man. Hey, man, congratulations on your new job and your new situation, man. And I just pray that God will keep elevating you and taking you to new heights. With that
Yeah,
being said, man.
on another note, man, all bullshit aside, man, I work for Pepsi, man.
Okay. How's that? So how's that been so far?
Man, they demand greatness, man.
That's good.
Yeah, they demand greatness. They all benefits, everything paid for, everything shares, stocks, everything. 401. What a guy like me coming from the streets changing my life, and I done hit the gold mine. You hear me?
Look, man. Look, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you for what you're doing, and like you always speak the truth. And no matter what anybody says, I can tell when somebody is being genuine and they have a pure spirit. So I always respect your opinion, and I just want you to know that I respect you for sure.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. I be watching. I just don't be wanting to get on because I know it takes a lot of effort to do this. So when you want to be a part of something and you know you don't have that 110% effort that you want to give to whomever, like your energy, just don't just sit in the back and just chill.
That's what's up. I appreciate that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, but thanks for always supporting, man. I appreciate you. Hey, man, have a great weekend. Look, man, go love on your family for sure, man.
All good.
Y'all have a good weekend. Thank you for listening. I will see y'all on the next show. See you on the next show. Okay? Peace out, man. I'm out.